Good evening from South Florida and the legendary Orange Bowl, the home of some of football's best games and the home of some memorable editions of the Miami Hurricanes. Both of those came together for another classic just a few weeks ago when the mighty Gators were in town. And Florida led Miami by 23 points. But then the Canes come back.
Gore heading for the first down, and he's got it. It's a touchdown.
So they're 4-0, and they can get better as this tonight Kellen Winslow has a breakout game. Frank Gore getting closer to the form we saw 2 seasons ago. The Miami defense, led by a safety as good as there is in Sean Taylor, and the heart of the defense in the middle, linebacker Jonathan Vilma. Tonight, those stars on display in South Florida as College Football Thursday welcomes you to the Orange Bowl, where Miami has the nation's longest home win streak. They've won 24 in a row, #2 in the country, taking on the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Last time these teams meet as members of the Big East. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the start of the college football weekend, and the movement month, October, begins here tonight for college football. Well, this Miami team, #2, how strong are they? I don't think we know yet. Yes, they were tested and came back from down 23 against the Gators, but this is the month we find out. Their schedule, 3 of the next 4 games, are as tough as anyone has seen in October in recent memory in college football. Don't overlook tonight's test, West Virginia. Yes, the Mountaineers are heavy underdogs, but last year they ran for 363 yards against Miami. Miami should win the game tonight, but will go a long way also to find out if Miami has the character, the intangibles, and the heart of a champion that they're going to need through this month and beyond. Let's check in with their head coach, Larry Coker. He's standing by with Dr. Jerry Punish.
Well, Coach, through the month of September, we've seen almost weekly shuffling in the top 25 because of upset after upset, with 3 top 10 teams looming on the horizon. How concerned are you tonight that maybe a lapse in focus puts you guys in harm's way for the upset?
Well, I'm very concerned about it because the fact is that we better be focused because we're going to get a great effort tonight from West Virginia. I think it's going to be very important for us. We can't look ahead to anybody. We've got to do a great job and do a great job tonight.
Last 2 times you guys have played this spread offense, you guys have given up a very un-Miami-like 556 yards rushing. How do you stop them tonight?
Well, we've got to do a good job of tackling, for one. We've got to involve our safeties. We've got to do some line games and some things that really maybe throw them out of rhythm a little bit. They've got a great running quarterback, and we've got to do a great job of keeping him off balance.
Despite the 4-0 start, you've been outspoken that you are far from where you want to be with this football team. What part of your team would you like to see step up tonight?
Well, I think consistency with their offense and really taking care of the penalty situation, not shooting yourself in the foot so much and not getting the foolish penalties.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck tonight. Mike?
Okay, Doc, thank you. With Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit, is Miami a championship caliber team? I guess the next month is going to answer, but give me some places to look at tonight to give us some of the hints towards that answer.
Well, let's start with the Miami quarterback, Brock Berlin. You know, Brock in the first 4 games this year, he's looked average, poor, good, very good, and sensational, sometimes all in the same game. Brock Berlin needs to be more consistent. Miami has to eliminate those mistakes offensively if they're going to be able to be a championship football team. And Kirk, they could beat West Virginia tonight with a B offensive game, but they're not going to beat the Noles in Tallahassee with a B game. They got to fine-tune themselves tonight to get ready to go to Tallahassee.
You're giddy about that game next Saturday, aren't you? We all can't wait for Florida State and Miami, but tonight Miami's got to be able to go out and play well, not only on offense, but the staple of the Hurricanes is the defense. Miami over the years has always had one of the best defenses, one of the most athletic defenses in all of college football. Talking to Randy Shannon, their defensive coordinator, yesterday, he said, guys, this defense, even though they're young up front, could be even better than the defenses we've had the last couple of years, and a big part of that is Jonathan Vilma. Vilma is now healthy. He had a hamstring that slowed him in 2-a-days. He had a big game against Boston College. They feel tonight against Rasheed Marshall, because of his athletic ability, Vilma's presence is key for the Canes to move on and get ready for Florida State.
Yeah, all of our loyal viewers and passionate fans of the blue and gold in the state of West Virginia saying, what about the Mountaineers? Well, it's up to one guy, their quarterback, Rasheed Marshall. If he can have a big game and eliminate the mistakes from early on, West Virginia might hang around longer than some think. Chris Fowler, #2 in the country, gets going in this week where the top 10 is really busy. We are live in South Florida. Welcome to Miami as we continue celebrating 20 years of live college football on ESPN. College Football Thursday. #2 in the land, 4-0 Miami, taking on the 1-3 Mountaineers of West Virginia. And welcome to the big building in Little Havana, the Orange Bowl in Miami, where Larry Coker's never lost. Tonight, if he wins, he'll be 29-1. record-type stuff. Coker continues his success. On the opposite side, third year at West Virginia, Rich Rodriguez played for the legendary Don Nehlen in Morgantown, a West Virginia alum. Very young team running their spread offense, try to spread them out and run at the Canes and gain some success here tonight. One thing Rich told us this morning over a cup of coffee that he's worried about is the humidity. Temperature's 81 degrees. It's South Florida. There's always a chance of a thunderstorm, but the humidity's up in the mid-80s, and why Rich is concerned, his team is young, and if he has to use a lot of that depth, the second teamers that he may use are nowhere near the ability of the Miami guys. So even if they stay close for a half, Rich is very concerned about how the humidity might have an impact here tonight. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch, glad you are on board for College Football Thursday. And as the guys were talking about in the studio, we begin the month of March, the month where you have settling in and movement in college football. Miami, one of the 14 in Division 1A, 10 in the BCS conferences that are undefeated as we head into the second full month of the season. Miami tested only by Florida, coming back from down 23 here to win 38-33. We saw them against Louisiana Tech pull away in Shreveport. They've defeated East Carolina on ESPN2 and Boston College, one of our Saturday night primetime games, up in Chestnut Hill. Miami won the toss, and we are positive that they have deferred to the second half because the official, John Smith, made the correct motion. So the Canes in green set to kick to the Mountaineers in white, and off we go on College Football Thursday. From 2 yards deep, some hesitation. Adam Jones brings it out, and he's knocked down at the 16-yard line. So a long drive will start from inside the 20. Tavares Gooden in on the tackle. There is the junior quarterback for the Mountaineers, Rasheed Marshall, who started last year and was effective. What do you think of him, Lee?
Rasheed Marshall is an excellent all-around athlete. He can run and throw. He has to have a hot game tonight, Kirk and Mike, to keep in the ball game so that they can use ball control offense, then move the sticks and keep Miami's offense on the sideline. Rasheed Marshall, key player tonight.
Needs a good start, too.
Yes.
Coming off a couple tough games. Needs to get some confidence early in this football game.
Opening drive starts in the 17. Vince Wilfork made an early visit on into the West Virginia backfield. And an early penalty for probably Miami, unless Wilfork was induced in there.
Prior to the snap, offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
It's one way to slow down an aggressive defense. Try to get the big fella leaning.
I think that's a very important offensive weapon people don't use enough. It's called a hard count, which makes it boom and makes those guys that are trying to get to the quarterback jump off the side. I think it's a good weapon.
And Marshall actually under center calling the cadence, something that is a little bit different for West Virginia.
First down run with Quincy Wilson, who loves to spin, gets across the 25 into the 26. 4 yards for the senior from the state of West Virginia. Sean Taylor in on the tackle. On the Bud Light starting lineups, Wilson's the son of former Chicago Bears linebacker Otis Wilson. The tight ends haven't caught a ball all year for West Virginia. Chris Henry, 3 catches, all touchdowns. Miquel Henderson rounds out their receiving corps. Up front, this is the 5th game, 5th different combo on the offensive line. Right guard Jeremy Sheffy, one of 2 redshirt freshmen in there tonight. This is his first start. 2nd and 1, Marshall option with Wilson. Goes down across the 31 and to the 32-yard line. Move over to the other side and pick up the Miami defense. Brian Pata, the freshman, gets his first college start in for the injured Baraka Atkins. Vince Wilfork has overcome a lot to become one of the best defensive tackles in the country. DJ Williams, Mel Kiper says he's the 2nd best senior in the nation. Vilm is the leader of this group. Al Marshall steps into the starting lineup, replacing Kellen Jennings at a starting corner. If there's a better free safety than Sean Taylor, I look forward to watching that guy play in person. Taylor is nothing short of a sensational athlete. Again under center, again a run with Wilson. Right at the line for a first down. It was Maurice Sykes, the strong safety, who pulled him down by the neck. But a strong run game early on here for the Mountaineers.
If you notice, Rasheed Marshall made an automatic call, Kurt. What he did is he saw the bubble in the middle and ran right at the Miami defense. That's a nice automatic call by the quarterback.
A nice automatic call, not to mention that Maurice Sykes was coming in at a poor angle. He was lucky to get a hand on there to slow down Wilson. Wilson's a powerful runner. It can break that tackle.
Second and a yard. Wilson will get his 4th carry and has the first down and more across midfield and to the 46-yard line. So let's go right back to the beginning. Jerry Punch asked Larry Coker if he was concerned because of West Virginia has done running the ball against Miami the last 2 years. And thus far, we've seen 4 runs for 32 yards from Wilson.
Well, you know it's coming. West Virginia, it's no secret. They want to be able to run the football. What I like is 4 different plays, 4 different formations. They're trying to show Miami a lot of things to make this defense think. And here comes the 5th play and a 5th different formation.
With a new tailback in K.J. Harris out of Tampa, Florida. Marshall looks over to the sidelines, gets the play adjustment from Rich Rodriguez, the head coach.
Freeze call there to try to get him.
And here is Harris working the left side. Picked up a couple of first down yards. DJ Williams, the senior, made the tackle. The pickup of 3. Rich Rodriguez's team, 363 at home against Miami, 193 in a game here that we had where they hung in it in 2001.
Rich Rodriguez told me an interesting thing last night. He told me that psychologically they had a great victory last year. They made Miami put 8 in the box. First time he's ever seen Miami put 8 in the box.
Well, nobody does that because Miami likes to keep their 2 safeties deep.
Yeah.
But he also told us that tempo and getting first downs is the key to this offense.
Fumble the football. It's free, and Miami gets it. Nobody knew the ball was on the ground, and Jonathan Vilma comes up with the recovery. So I believe the first time they went shotgun, unable to work the handoff, and it laid on the ground for a long time until the Canes recovered.
Interesting also note, I think it's Jason Colson, number 24, fumbles the ball. He hasn't been in the ball game at all. I don't understand why they took Quincy Wilson out of the ball game doing so well, Kurt.
They like to rotate the backs to try to keep them fresh. I'm with you. Wilson was on a little bit of a roll there. Maybe he had to step out for a second to be able to catch his breath, because that's an important thing, is rotating the West Virginia's players as much as possible. But boy, had a nice drive going there.
They need to help Miami. 53 yards of field to work for a touchdown. Quarterback Brock Berlin is to running back Frank Gore. Gets 3 to midfield. Well, we talked about Brock Berlin so much in the first 2 weeks. From Shreveport, Louisiana, played his first game there. Former University of Florida quarterback, played the Gators in the 2nd game. What's happened to him since then, Kurt?
I think he is a much more confident quarterback. I think people talk about the Florida game as his turning point. I think just getting the game at Shreveport, his hometown, out of the way, and then playing his former school, Florida, getting those 2 games out of the way, surviving it, playing so well against Florida, now has him playing with more confidence, but he still has to continue to develop in this offense.
2nd and 7, 3 in the pattern. He throws complete to Kevin Beard, the senior wide receiver, back off the knee injury suffered against Pittsburgh last year, picked up 6. We've got 3rd at about 1.5 yards. Beard joins a freshman, Ryan Moore, as excellent receivers there on the right side of your Bud Light starting lives. Kellen Winslow Jr., the tight end to the middle, only 1 touchdown catch in 4 games. Frank Gore getting closer to his old great form. Offensive line up front, Mel Kiper's first list of rated seniors says Vernon Carey, the senior left guard, 6th best senior in the nation. And the converted tight end, Winston, the sophomore out of Midland, Texas, has a chance to be a great offensive lineman down the line. 3rd and 1, Gore tried to run wide, and West Virginia got on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Adam Jones, starting tonight at cornerback, got in there. A loss of 3, and Miami will go 3 and out on its opening drive.
Well, we talk about loading the box. It's 3rd and 1. Look at how many bodies West Virginia decides to put up there. They put 1 corner out on Ryan Moore and 10 defenders up in the box. I know Miami's offensive line is pretty good, but it's tough to block 10 guys up there.
Ryan Monroe set to kick it away for the Canes. Try to pin the Mountaineers deep. Got a nice bounce, but it was unable to be brought in by Antrell Roll. A touchback. The net only 27 after the 47-yard kick. The turnover cost West Virginia nothing but field position. Back here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Number 2 Miami and West Virginia scoreless. Mountaineers to start it from the 20. Lee, let's check your Under Armour advantage for tonight for both teams.
Well, it's perfect in the first drive for West Virginia. Run the football from the spread offense, get the game close into the 4th quarter, and see what happens. On Miami's side, they have been wonderful. Balanced offense, 7 running touchdowns, 6 touchdowns by the pass, and 7 non-offensive or defensive touchdowns, and 1 safety. Very very, very balanced football team.
Scored a lot not on the field offensively. 20 touchdowns this year. 13 from the offense, 7 from defense or special teams. Drive start from the 20. Here's Marshall's pass to Chris Henry. He gains about 4 yards to the 24. It's the first time Henry has caught a ball this year that hasn't gone for a touchdown.
It's good to see Rasheed Marshall getting off to a good start. I know they had the miscue with the fumble, but the last 2 games, you look at the numbers, and against Cincinnati, 10 of 30. And how about against Maryland, where the West Virginia team just didn't show up to play in that football game. It's not just Rasheed Marshall. He's the strength. As an offense breaking in so many new people that's trying to gain some confidence, Rasheed is, and the players around him.
2nd and 4. Wilson lost the football. It's been kicked around a few times, and we'll see who's at the bottom of the pile. Jonathan Vilma might have knocked it away. He's sure Miami has it, and they do. So West Virginia, which has lost 3 fumbles all year, has lost 2 in the first 7 plays tonight.
This is a big part of Miami Hurricane football, creating turnovers. Mike, you're right. Vilma got in there with a left forearm to knock the ball loose. And Miami's opportunistic once again, creating turnovers. Already their 13th on the season. That's something that 2 years ago, on their way to a national championship, that was the strength of the defense. And right now, you look at this Miami defense, that is something that they want to live by.
The freshman Brian Potta getting the start as the defensive end, came up with the recovery. 1st and 10, pressure on the Mountaineer defense. 4 sent out in the pattern. Berling's throws deflected, and it's intercepted. So West Virginia gets the turnover right back. Lenort made the deflection. And Leandre Washington comes up with the INT.
Adam Lenort, number 10, is 6'3", 235 pounds, and that's why he got this interception. Watch him, Kirk and Mike, as he extends his body right here, number 10. Notice he's watching the quarterback, and he jumps up, boom. And I tell you what, I noticed one thing about Berlin already. He bird dogs, boy. He is looking exactly where he's going to throw the football. No question in my mind.
Well, that's the same thing he did the last time we had him against Louisiana Tech. They said that that's the area they're trying to improve his game, is looking into the defense. But that time, he looked to Kellen Winslow from the time he dropped back to throw the ball. And Lenort did a nice job of reading his eyes, deflecting it. And West Virginia gets the ball right back.
And the defense comes back right away as Orrin Harris comes up on 1st down to make a stick. A carry that will lose a yard. Lots of turnovers early. First dozen plays, 3 turnovers. And that quick start the Mountaineers hoped for. Looked like it was going there in that first drive, but back-to-back snaps, they fumble the ball. It's not very good. Or 2 out of 3 snaps, I should say. 2nd and 11 out of the gun with Jason Colson back in there in the backfield. Underneath pass is dropped. I'm sure Chris Henry heard John Vilma and DJ Williams lurking behind each ear. 3rd and 11 coming up.
Getting back to Brock Berlin, guys, this is going to be a thing to watch with the Miami offense, because miscues have really hurt him over the course of these first 4 games. He had the great second half against Florida, but until they prove consistently that they can throw the football, teams are going to try to take away Frank Gore and make Brock Berlin beat him by throwing the ball.
Miami's been great on 3rd down. One reason, it's been a lot of 3rd and long this year. 3rd and 11, needing to get to the 31. Swinging out to Wilson, and Quincy's pushed out to 23. Have to be careful that there wasn't a late hit out of bounds. Kelly Jennings, the nickelback, was over there, but he let go in time, and West Virginia is going to have to kick it away. West Virginia's punting unit had 1 block early against Wisconsin, and since then, their kicker Todd James, a senior, is a pretty good kicker. Went to Joe Montana's high school, Ringgold High School in Pennsylvania. He now does the rugby-style punt at times, run around and kick it.
You better be Roscoe Parrish is back there, ain't he? Watch out.
See, he gets it away in about the same time that you get away a normal snap, 1.9 seconds, but unreturnable where it was kicked. 38-yard punt with no return. They'll take that net all night. 3 turnovers in the first 4 drives. 8:50 left, no score. Miami turned it over with Brock Berlin's 6th interception on the year. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns. But Berlin continues to show signs of settling in and then make mistakes that has some people a little worried about this Miami offense thus far. Drive start from the 40, and Frank Gore touched a couple of times behind the line, still squirms forward for 3 yards to the 43. 2nd and 7 coming up.
You can see West Virginia putting 8 guys up at the line of scrimmage. Now watch this throw by Berlin going back to the last interception. When he drops back to throw, he's looking at Kellen Winslow the whole time. Lenore blats it down, but look right here at Lorello. Even if he is back there not to be able to have that ball batted down, Lorello still is there to make the interception. There are 4 defenders locked in on Kellen Winslow.
Not the first time the Canes have seen that this year. 2nd and 7. Miami had 2 men in motion at the same time. So this play will come back. We'll have 2nd and 12 coming up.
Well, so far, West Virginia's got one psychological thing going for them. This is the first time Miami hasn't scored a touchdown within 11 minutes and 23 seconds of the first quarter.
That's right.
So far,
it's a win.
I'm telling you, psychologically, that's keep them in the game. And I told you at the beginning of the show, try to get them into a 4th quarter, put the pressure on them.
Yeah, we hear that.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Complete 2nd down.
The thing that's scary about this Miami offense, Brock Berlin's ability is frightening, his physical ability. And because he's inexperienced, the light switch kind of comes and it goes. But Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, and Larry Coker, they're trying to have him play a more consistent game. But just when you think, boy, these guys are really struggling, boom, 60-yard touchdown.
Still have the most explosive talent with all the ball handlers. Lynch was in the neutral zone. No flag is down. Berlin's toss is caught and dropped. Incomplete, intended for Jason Gathers, the senior. Miami players kind of,
I think they thought they had a free play.
A little bit. Yeah, well, it'd be a good time to tell you about Ben Lynch, the junior from Oil City, Pennsylvania, who's part of a 3-3-5 defense. Bluford and Hunter on the ends. Lynch from Oil City, same as the middle linebacker, Adam Lenore, who had the deflection earlier. That's down about 10,000, and they got 2 stars on the same D1 team. Jerko's a walk-on. Wiley's forced 5 fumbles. Brian King was the starting corner. See the free safety, number 11? He's moved in. Adam Jones gets the start. Frazier and Jones are good on the corners. King at free safety, a very good defensive back. So they have enough DBs to cover when Miami does this. 3 wide and 5 in the pattern. It's 3rd and about a dozen. Berlin's toss is caught and dropped by Gore. So Miami's dropped back-to-back balls, and the Canes offense off to a slow start in the OB tonight.
When you have talented players like Gore dropping the football, that's lack of focus. Now, I don't care what you do during the week. If your football team comes in lack of focus like this against anybody, you got big problems. And right now, Miami is not playing with the intensity necessary to beat West Virginia or anybody else.
Definitely on one side of the ball.
Oh, no question.
Monroe punting, a line drive, a getaway for the West Virginia folks as it was bouncing, and it will be stopped by the Canes at the 21-yard line. 41 yards on the punt. Well, it's college football weekend. As always, we'll begin with College Game Day in Austin, Texas this week in our ESPN College Football Saturday game. Tennessee 4-0 at Auburn. Yes, they lost their first couple of games, but beware the Tigers. It's down on the Plains. It's in prime time, 7:45 Eastern, and available on ESPN HD, which is now available nationwide. College football on ESPN, every game a must-win.
I agree with you. I think Auburn has become a more focused team, and it seems like all the hype for the national championship, now they're locked in on trying to get to the SEC championship in Atlanta.
4 drives for the Mountaineers. This is their best starting point from 21. And they'll be a couple of yards farther back as Wilson is brought down. Brian Pata, again, as the freshman, as we have a flag down for the pushing well away from the play between Antrell Roll and West Virginia wide receiver D. Alston.
I was watching them the whole time. Both were swinging at one another. It'll be interesting to see if it's the old get the last guy to take the swing, which was Antrell Roll.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense, personal foul on the offense. The penalty's offset. It will be 2nd down.
2nd and long after the good penetration by Pata, who stop up the running back. Well, we mentioned the Tennessee game, that Auburn game on ESPN, then against Georgia on ESPN2 the following Saturday night, and at Alabama, and then the Canes. They come in here November 8th.
How's that October for you? At Auburn, Georgia, and at Alabama.
Illegal substitution flag here.
12 men on the field, on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Confusion with the backs.
Calm down.
KJ Harris and Quincy Wilson changing all those backs. And it will leave Rich Rodriguez's team in 2nd and 16.
Not good against Miami with that secondary and that pass rush.
Marshall looks to throw this time. Puts it up for the wheel route. Caught by Harris. There's a flag down as KJ Harris pulls away. Takes it all the way to the 3. 84 yards. And as I look back, I don't see any flags on the field. Here it is, back at the 15. Back at the line of scrimmage. Miami offside, I believe.
I bet you it is. Miami offsides, and West Virginia did a smart thing. They got a free play.
Yep.
Might as well go for it all.
Offsides, defense, penalty will be declined. First down.
Pass caught by Harris, 24-year-old junior college transfer.
Well, they're going to fake the handoff here, and Wilson's just going to slide down the sideline on a wheel route. Miami's faking and disguising the blitz, but in the meantime, they're not catching up with the man-to-man coverage. DJ Williams tries to stay with him. The ball is perfectly thrown to Wilson right over his shoulder. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with Wilson's speed, or rather Harris's speed down the sideline there.
Tall receiver near side, and Rayshawn Bolden, they run right to the right side. Quincy Wilson pounds it in. Touchdown, Mountaineers. So West Virginia was backed up 2nd and about 17. They hit the big play, and the son of former NFL linebacker with the Chicago Bears, Otis Wilson, watches his son score his 4th rushing touchdown on the year.
And that Otis Wilson was a great football player at the University of Louisville. In fact, he was the 2nd best linebacker ever played there behind Tom Jackson, my linebacker.
That's right. Brad Cooper on for the extra point. He is true on the try, and well, if Miami was not focused, their attention has been grabbed by a West Virginia team who has run the ball effectively, turned it over twice, but hit the big play here to the junior out of Tampa, Florida, former baseball player KJ Harris. On the wheel route from Rasheed Marshall, sets up the other running back, Quincy Wilson, for his 4th of the year. And West Virginia leads in the Orange Bowl. Back here at the Orange Bowl, pretty fun crowd right now. They have watched West Virginia jump out to a 7-0 lead, and the Mountaineers have 128 yards.
What's up? Trey, I love you, baby. You're well, Ricky. All right, baby.
Compared to Miami's 9.
And we talked about building confidence early. After the last couple games this offense has played, they've already put 128 yards of total offense up, and we have 6:28 to go in the first quarter. I guess safe to say they're playing with a little bit of a little swagger down there for the Mounties.
Also, the other side is not playing with a whole lot of swagger.
Nope.
You can see the sideline kind of walking around. It is not the same Miami Hurricane team that I've seen in the past.
Brad Cooper has a big leg. Darnell Jenkins takes it from 2 yards deep and brings it out. Tries to hit the seam, but he's brought down across the 20. Well covered by West Virginia. Jay Henry and Harris over there on the tackle. A return of about 22 yards. So KJ, who has a big play, makes the special teams tackle as well.
Well, KJ Harris, you know, is a junior college transfer, and what they did, they got him man for man on DJ Williams. As Mike said, one of the fastest linebackers in the country, but the one-on-one coverage was a mismatch because KJ just ran right by DJ and touchdown. And I'm telling you, I said it before that play, Miami is not focused for this football game. I can sense it.
Don't forget about that throw by Marshall. Oh, that was perfectly thrown. Right where it had to be, right in stride.
Winslow, the lead blocker for Gore. First steer across the 30. First down for Frank out at the 34-yard line. Gore, oh, he's grabbing his leg here. Frank Gore may have hurt his leg. Gore right away was reaching for that left leg. Remember, Frank Gore tore 2 ligaments in his right knee last year in the game against Pittsburgh when he was the starting running back. Jarrett Payton, son of the great running backs of all time, Walter Payton, is the backup. He's getting set to check in, but all the concern for Miami now is with number 32. Let's go check in with Jerry Punch.
And Mike, we mentioned the fact that the right knee was the one that they had total reconstruction on done last year with the ACL and the meniscus trim. He injured the left knee, the one that they're looking at right now, Scott McGonigal. Basically, it was a bruise of the patella, which is the kneecap, which is the area they're looking at right now. But they're actually examining it for ligaments right now. But he bruised the left knee, the front of the left knee against East Carolina, and also sprained the right ankle. So he's been sort of nicked up the last week and a half or 2 weeks. And now Scott McGonigal and company out there looking at Frank Gore. But as you said, it was the right knee that had the total reconstruction done back last year.
Yeah, geez, you hope. Miami obviously hopes he's okay, but for this kid as well who went through the rehab that Jerry talked about, he doesn't want any help. He wants to force his way off the field.
Speaking of Frank Gore, you know, you guys, he had over 4,000 yards rushing in his junior and senior year and scored 34 touchdowns his senior year in Dade County. That's one of the best records ever in one of the best football counties in America.
Great back.
What a player.
Great back. You sometimes wonder, some players, when they come back from a reconstructive surgery, are a little bit more tentative and take a little bit more time than other guys.
Saw he got rolled up on that play. First down, Berlin, nice ball fake. Throws to Jarrett Payton out of the backfield, gets over to the 40-yard line. You cannot help but wonder what's going through Frank Gore's mind now as the doctors make the evaluation and the examination on the bench. Remember, this guy was the starting running back. As he got hurt going into the 02 season, it allowed Willis McGahee to come in his unbelievable season. Gore had to go through the whole year on the scout team with Brock Berlin, getting ready, rehabbing, and finally getting back out on the field to start this 2003 season. Just getting close to the form that we had seen from him earlier on, and now this injury. Meantime, Payton runs it inside for a couple of yards. We'll have third down coming up. Let's go visit with Jared.
And we talk about the fact that when you have an ACL repair, it's a long, hard road back. But this young man had some contracture, had some stricture, some diminished range of motion in that knee. They had to go back in and clean it up a little bit. He had to work doubly hard. And this young man really, really wanted to come back. John Uribe, the orthopedic surgeon that you see working on examining Frank Gore right now, he's the man that does the work for the Miami Dolphins and the Miami Hurricanes, one of the most notable here in the Southeast when it comes to sports medicine. But he said he was impressed, and he's seen a lot of people over the years had ACL surgery, how hard this young man had to work after 2 procedures to get back on the playing field.
Without an empty backfield, Ryan Moore dropped the football. I think one of his teammates may have bailed him out. Let's see. Grant Wiley's at the bottom of the pile trying to shake it free. Both sides have said they have it. And Joel Rodriguez, the center, is pushing with Leandre Washington. They haven't signaled yet. It is Miami ball. Kevin McLee, the redshirt freshman, knocked it away. And Larry Coker's team lucky not to turn it over a second time. Kellen Winslow came up with the recovery.
Well, it's third and short. This is a great job by Brock Berlin. Watch his head. He wants to throw this ball to the right. West Virginia backed out and played zone. Great recognition by Berlin to come back and find Ryan Moore. Now, they're lucky to recover the fumble, but I'm going to tell you, that was a nice job. A simple throw, but a great read by Brock Berlin of looking into that defense.
Berlin looking to get in rhythm. Jarrett Payton is met and won't go very far at all. And it's Hunter with the defensive surge, the sophomore out of Burke, Virginia. And now a lot of pressure and performance level must fall on number 34, Payton, as they continue to look at Gore.
And from a coach's standpoint, looking on the sideline, if I was West Virginia, I'm telling you, I'm going to win this ball game right now, I think, because I guarantee one thing. Payton is no Gore. And that's going to stop their running attack and force them into a one-dimensional game with Brock Berlin. And I think I got a shot to beat him if Brock Berlin has to throw the ball.
Even if Frank Gore were in there, it's not like they were lighting it up. I still think they need to throw the football to get this defense to soften up.
Blitz, Berlin took a shot. Good coverage by Brian King. Allows only a 1-yard gain. for the fullback, Quantrin Hill.
I think they need to throw the ball vertically on 1st and 10 when West Virginia is putting 9 guys up in the box to try to defend the run. Even if you miss, just to try to soften, to let them know that they better respect the speed of your receivers. It's very sad to see it's Frank Gore being helped off into the locker room after everything he has been through.
Of all the players on the Miami football team tonight, besides maybe Brock Ballern, that's the one guy they couldn't afford to lose, in my opinion.
Not only for tonight, for the season.
Anytime.
3rd and 11 here. They need to get to the 39 to keep the drive alive. Underneath, Moore comes free. Can he run for it? Mountaineers well covered, and they'll have to make a decision here from the 42-yard line.
Well, I think you got to punt the ball. I would not take a chance in giving them field position. Punt the ball, get them inside the 10, and force another turnover. That's what I do.
You know what comes to mind, guys, is you see Gore, is what Larry Coker told us. And Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, Frank Gore had that kind of attitude, that smile going this week. Yeah. That you felt he was going to have a big game. And Coker told us he expected a big game from Frank tonight. Now, to watch this is just tugs at your heart. Kick is away from Brian Monroe. Will this one be stopped inside the 5? Yes. It'll be stopped at the 2.5-yard line. Well, terrifically covered by, as we said, if there's a better free safety in the country, I look forward to watching him play. Sean Taylor down there on the coverage. Punt 40, long field for the Mountaineers.
Well, Sean Taylor is known as one of the best free safeties, but he's going to be a gunner here, and he's going to get down. Makes a little cut here. Now, look at him. Look for the football. That's a great job right there. You can use that as a clinic film. Looking up and finding the football. Don't worry about the punt returner taking you out with some kind of decoy sign. Go down and find the ball and knock it back.
And smart to keep it in the field of play. Long field down by the student section. Loud for Marshall and company. Quincy Wilson loves that spin move. That's his trademark. And look at him delivering the blow out to the 9-yard line. You don't see Miami defenders pushed the other way very often, but Quincy Wilson at 215 pounds, the power to pick up 7. We are joined tonight with aerial views of this beautiful city from the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Its fleet of airships, the Blimp Stars and Stripes, continuing a 78-year tradition as the aerial ambassador and icon of the 105-year-old company. Goodyear's in the building. It's a big game tonight.
Nice shot.
ESPN, the Blimp, big time.
You,
Kurt, you,
Punt
to Jerry Punt.
Stop, of course.
First team.
Second down run by Wilson. First down and more. Look at Wilson over the sideline to the 25 and the 26. So West Virginia, for the 3rd straight year, is running right at Miami and around them, and they've gained 152 yards in the first quarter, guys.
Well, this is a great seal block by the tight end to be able to open this up, and they were able to get to the outside, which is very difficult to do. Right here, watch the block. Bailey gets not only the defensive end, but he picks up McIntosh, the outside linebacker, and he's able to get down to the outside to pick up valuable yardage. We're talking about Miami not playing with great effort and great attitude. Let's not forget to talk about West Virginia. For a team coming in at 1-3, they are playing with tremendous attitude.
Sometimes those yard numbers are skewed in the first quarter because of plays. West Virginia's run 16, Miami's run 14, so it's a pretty similar sample. Marshall must beat the play clock. They did. On the handoff, Jason Colson goes forward. Out near the 34-yard line. Pickup of 7, he too, a redshirt freshman.
And don't forget, we'll go back to that quarterback, Rasheed Marshall. And that one long pass he had was 84 yards. That more than tripled Marshall's total passing yards last week of 25. More than tripled it.
That was an aberration to his career. Not only Marshall not being in sync, but the whole offense. It's a rhythmic offense, and everybody wasn't quite hitting on all cylinders. They're making up for it right now.
2nd and 3 for the Mountaineers. His head down and picking up the first down with a run of 4 yards. So it's been Harris and Wilson and Colson. That's on KJ out of Tampa. Picked up the first down. And that'll put West Virginia in great stead here as the quarter comes to an end.
Let's get these names in there. Jeff Burke, Dan Moses, Ben Timmons, Jeremy Sheffy, Darren Justice, the offensive line that first quarter. Look at them sprinting down to the other end. This team is ready to play football tonight.
Attitude means so much And after being embarrassed at Maryland, losing 34-7, they come into the Orange Bowl and dominate the first quarter on the Canes. 7-0 Mountaineers. Call a friend. We got a good one on College Football Thursday. A humid early October night in Miami. Temperature in the 80s, humidity high, and the angst level is high here. Even though Ray Lewis and over 30 of the former Canes are strolling the sideline here for support, Miami's in a little bit of trouble. West Virginia's dominated the opening quarter. They've watched Frank Gore, their running back, come out of the game with an injury to his knee. 1st and 10 for West Virginia as this quarter starts from the 36. There's halfbacks in the game, and this is K.J. Harris at the big pass catch earlier, less than a yard. Brian Potta and John Square, the young ends, made the play.
If you didn't know the difference.
Flag down, holding on the Mountaineers.
If you didn't know the difference, you'd think the team in the white was Miami, a 28-point favorite. The team in the green was West Virginia, an underdog. Because of the mental attitude of the teams coming in here, West Virginia right now wants this game more than Miami. Forget the X's and O's. It's in the heart and the mind.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
West Virginia's come into this game with an attitude. Forget about the pass. Forget about the 1 and 3. They're out here playing fun and playing loose. I mean, it's what surprises me is Miami. Miami's not a team usually that comes into a game where they're mentally not there. But don't forget, we're in the second quarter, and the Miami defense, if they're going to turn this thing around, it's up to the Miami defense to create a turnover and to get this thing going. Not the Miami offense.
They've created 2 already. And
I'm talking a big play.
Marshall's going to run. Has some room, and this good runner got it back out near the original line of scrimmage at the 35. Vilma made the play. We have 2nd and about 12 coming up. Well, Rich Rodriguez, the coach of this team, back at Glenville State, an NAIA school in the state of West Virginia, started this spread offense concept. And when you think spread offense, you think throw the ball, throw it all over the map. Well, this West Virginia team has proven they can run out of the spread offense, and here's what they've done to Miami, jumping up 7-0 as we're a minute in the second quarter. Marshall's designed run for the quarterback, who gets out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, pick up of 3.
And you'll see that quite a bit tonight. That's one thing the teams try to do when they play Miami. Miami plays so much man under with their linebackers and their cornerbacks that if you have a quarterback who's athletic and can move, especially out of the spread offense, they try to take advantage of it.
And that Rashid Marshall is a wonderful athlete. When he was at Valley Forge Military Academy, that kid played defense, corner, free safety, intercepted passes. I really like his confidence tonight, Kirk. He doesn't even look like the same guy we saw on tapes last week.
Third and 8. Miami blitz picked up by West Virginia. Underneath, it's complete, but they'll be short of the first down with Henry. Henry was trying to find space, but Sean Taylor came up and sniffed that out, and off the line came John Square. West Virginia will kick it away. Now, we mentioned earlier they do this rugby punt with Todd James because they had one blocked early. The problem is Miami knows it. If we know it, the Canes know it too.
They were prepared the first time. Kelly Jennings, number 22, nearly snuck in there from the right side and blocked that rugby punt last time.
A game changer in Roscoe Parrish back to receive. They got that away really quick. 1.1 is great. The hang time is excellent, and no return. So the punter has done his job tonight. First, a 38-yard net punt, and that time, as they continue to mark it, and they'll mark it at the 30-yard line, a 27-yarder with no return.
James is doing his job when he punts it out of bounds.
That's right.
That's it.
Want to go game track? Those of you who might be surfing over here near the bottom of the hour, show you what's happening in our first quarter. Plus, big play by West Virginia to K.J. Harris out of the backfield. The wheel route set up the touchdown run of a couple of yards by Quincy Wilson. And Frank Gore, the Miami star tailback, injured his other knee, not the knee he hurt last year. He was taken back to the locker room. No report yet. Brock Berlin to the air on first down. Throws high, nearly intercepted by Brian King. So Berlin was looking, and King smelled a pick six. He just couldn't get to it.
That's what I call bird dogging, the best picture of bird dogging so far. The quarterback comes back, and instead of looking off the coverage, he watches it, and then watch all of the defensive backs just watching his head. Now, Kirk, look at him. Look at him. He's going to throw there for sure, and now all the defensive backs run over there. Kirk, unless he changes that real quick, they're going to have another couple of pickoffs.
Well, the problem, not only was he telegraphing his throw, but he threw it to 2 West Virginia defensive backs. There was not an open receiver there. He's got to try to throw that football away.
Second and 10 for Jarrett Payton across the 30 and 2. The 33-yard line. I'll give him 4 yards on the play. Well, Jarrett Payton, the son of, as I mentioned before, the great NFL running back Walter Payton, 5th-year senior. A guy who's had to go through so much. When he arrived here, his dad was ill, and then, as so many of us know, he passed away due to cancer related to that rare liver disease, but then had other different incidents. Car accident, cut his foot on a piece of coral. So many different things happened that's kept him out of the lineup, mentally and physically not ready to play. This is last season. He came ready to play mentally and physically, and now may take on a far different role. 3rd and 6, blitz underneath the All-America tight end Winslow. First down at the 42-yard line. Another son of one of the greats in NFL history at his position.
Well, a rare blitz here from West Virginia. They've been able to defend in many cases by playing zone. This time they decide to blitz. Nobody picks up Kellen Winslow, which on 3rd down, if there's one guy you want to keep an eye on, it's Kellen Winslow. This time, the eyes downfield. He knew right away that he had to get rid of it because nobody picked up the blitz, but he got it to 81 for the first down. You might want to 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. You might want to keep an eye on him.
After Miami's 3rd first down of the night, out of the gun, here's Berlin. Got 5 options underneath the Payton. Across the 45 and 2, the 49-yard line. 2nd and 4 coming up. Well, as mentioned earlier, College Game Day is going to Austin, Texas. 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific. Chris, Lee, and Kirk will bring you College Game Day. Built by the Home Depot before number 14, K-State, at number 13, Texas.
Can't wait to get down there.
For more, you can log on to ESPN.com. Coach Fowler has his weekly article there. It should be posted right about now.
He's up. He's ready.
He's up there on the net. Kirk's got his transcript from his chat earlier this afternoon. And Lee answers Lee mail. 2nd down. Good strike thrown by Berlin. The Nancy moves by Roscoe Parrish across the 35. And to the 34. Anthony Mims made the tackle to pick up 17.
I like getting the ball thrown downfield. And I think because he had so much time, West Virginia in many cases dropping 7 or 8 guys into coverage when Miami drops back to throw. He's going to have time to be able to throw the longer route. And West Virginia, I don't think, can stay with the speed of Miami, so you got to find those bubbles in that zone coverage. That time he did a good job.
And remember, playing against Brock Berlin, you got to keep everything inside and force him to make a mistake. That's what I would do.
Kyle Topia in there at the fullback spot. Berlin rolls and throws for Parrish, incomplete. Want a flag? Not going to get it. Coverage by Lance Frazier out of Delray Beach was good enough. And you know, when these Florida kids who've gone out of the state come back to play the Noles, the Gators, or the Canes, they have a little extra adrenaline pumping on game day or night.
Lance Frazier is a 3-year starter, one of the best defensive backs in the Big East. And Kirk, the reason why he made that good play is he came around with his right hand and didn't hold him with the left hand. That was a well-played play by Lance Frazier.
Well, the football was thrown right on time. Perfect throw. And Frazier was all over Roscoe Parrish there. Heck of a play.
Miami's best drive of the night. 2nd and 10. The screen to Payton with people to block like Vernon Carey clearing the way. First down to the 22-yard line. So Carey, the left guard, and Joel Rodriguez, the center, were out there and paved the way for 34.
That Vernon Carey, he's a great story. His nickname is the Hulk. I can't understand why. 6'5", 330 pounds from Miami Northwestern High School. Good-looking pro prospect.
Well, he's a great story, not only because of those dimensions, but also he's so versatile. He was penciled in at the beginning of the year to be the starting right tackle. Some injuries up front forced him to go back to the left guard spot, and he is the anchor to that offensive line.
Play 8 of the drive from the Virginia 22. A lot of passing. This looks like the Florida game there behind. Berlin put it up for grabs. Gathers got free. I don't know if he's in the end zone. I think the ball, they say touchdown. 22 yards.
I think Brock Berlin looks more comfortable in the shotgun. Remember the Florida game in the second half here? Plenty of time. And there are big open voids in that zone defense from West Virginia. And it looks like Miami has been able to find them on this drive.
Penalty marker down before John Petty's extra point. So Jason Gathers, who was limited by a hamstring, missed all of two-a-days. Now he is getting back to rhythm.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty.
So we'll have a re-kick coming up. Gathers able to go up and get it in that open space. As he was knocked down, very hard to tell if the ball had crossed the plane, and the officials waited and looked at each other and gave a sign Larry Coker was happy to see.
Gathers is 6'3", and he went up and caught the ball at the very height, and that's why he scored the touchdown over the smaller defensive backs from West Virginia.
I think Berlin knows his receivers pretty well. He put that ball way up in the air, knowing that Gathers had not only the size, but the leaping ability to go up and catch it.
And 5 yards farther back, the redshirt freshman Petty able to knock it through to square the game. Brock Berlin, 5 of 7 on the drive, 66 yards and the touchdown to Gathers. Now the pressure goes back to Rasheed Marshall in West Virginia. They have to answer the Canes, who come back to tie it at 7. Miami back in it here as they've squared the game at 7. Still plenty of time. A third of the way through here tonight in the Orange Bowl. Brock Berlin throwing to Jason Gathers, who was a receiver, then went to running back last year, returned back to wide receiver as the injuries transpired. Now on a night when a running back gets injured, he's back at wide receiver, goes up and makes the touchdown drive. Bryant Monroe's kick is short. Got to do better than that. KJ Harris has wheels, as we've seen. That's a good field position start across the 27-yard line. Roger McIntosh with the tackle. Let's go check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, Larry Coker has just gotten information from the Miami locker room. John Uribe has examined his star running back Frank Gore, and he's officially being listed as out for the remainder of the night. He has a left knee sprain. Estimates are that probably what will happen is he will be examined tomorrow morning. Further examination, and maybe even have an MRI to take a look at the supporting structures of that left knee. But a left knee sprain, and Frank Gore is done for the night.
Okay, Jerry, thanks. And you can only hope for Gore and Miami down the line that the MRI and a further exam tomorrow will show nothing negative with the ligaments. Miami defense aroused. Wilson squirmed back to the 25, a loss of 2. Al Marshall shake it up as he made the play.
Now, West Virginia had some good running plays, but the thing about it is, I think you got to run right at Miami. The more lateral runs you make, the more pursuit they can get. See it right off the corner now. And also, don't forget, that Marshall ran a nice option before on a rollout. That's what I do.
There he is rolling and throwing now. Incomplete, and he took a shot from Jonathan Vilma as he tried to get it out to Travis Garvey.
When we went to break, we talked about Miami just scored to tie this game up. And after West Virginia dominating the first quarter, it's 7-7. It's a new game. We said the old Miami, the team of the last 3 years, would take this possession and capitalize on it, either creating a turnover, a 3-and-out, and right now they're off to a good start. This is a big series for Miami to try to regain a hold of this football game.
3rd and 13. Colson and Wilson are the backs. Swing out, ball dropped by Wilson, incomplete pass, and they kick it away, and it's kind of building. Lose yardage, 3-and-out, and now here comes Miami's special teams. Dying to touch one here. Roscoe Parrish is jumping up and down like a little kid who's just been given his bag of candy at Halloween. Waiting for the punt. Just give me a chance. Let me get my hands on it.
That's the question. Is he going to get a chance?
He's going to tighten up those gloves just in case I get a chance to hold it.
Well, Larry Coker said that Roscoe Parrish was the most exciting football player he's ever been around, including Barry Sanders. Now, how about that for a compliment?
Well, I sure like Santana Moss.
Well, that's what Larry Coker said. The most exciting player he's ever been around.
A lot of window dressing. Rugby punt. Almost got to it. Whistle's down. The whistle is blown. I believe they took too much time.
Prior to the snap, delay game, offense.
I think you and I could have fun debating that one for the rest of the game.
You know,
Harry Sanders, I don't know, but
no, but sweetheart, all I said was
that's
what Larry Coker
you
said. I didn't say that.
What would you say?
I wouldn't say that he's the most excited. Best football player I ever saw was Roger Staubach. He's better than all these guys wrapped up together.
Here.
Oh, here?
From Miami.
Ken Dorsey.
Kenny Dorsey. Most exciting.
Most exciting.
Hang on. Hold that thought for a minute, because these guys have got major issues trying to punt. Rugby straight away. Got it away. It is high. It is short. It's out of bounds. And if you're wondering what happens here, you're going to see the official walk up with his hand up. He makes eye contact with the referee. The referee is the one who tells him, you stop it there. The ball will be at midfield. 31-yard kick.
Santana Moss.
I'll give you guys more time to talk about it. Think about it.
Santana Moss.
Be right back. Number 2 in the nation, Miami, has won 36 in a row in the regular season, 25 in a row in the Big East, 24 in a row here in the Orange Bowl. Pushed early, responding now, tied at 7. Star back Frank Gore out with a knee injury for the night. Rock Berlin settled in on the last drive, putting it in the air. Drive start midfield, looking long. Letting go. Ball catch. Incomplete, flag in. Lance Frazier pass interference. It'll be 1st and 10 Miami at the West Virginia 35.
He was trying to hit the most exciting player Larry Coker ever saw.
Great call by Larry Coker and Rob Chudzinski. Go deep on 1st and 10. Stretch that defense. Get them back. I just like the call, and I know Berlin missed it here. You know, after starting 1 for 4, he's hit 9 of his last 11. Throw that ball. If he throws it a little bit earlier, he's able to lead. He's able to lead Parrish for a touchdown.
Boy, I like the way he turned his shoulders. You could tell he's been well coached. He had 2 years under Steve Spurrier. Not that these guys don't know how to coach, but when Steve Spurrier coaches quarterbacks, they know what to do.
Rob Chudzinski, former Miami tight end, class of 1990, the offensive coordinator for these Kings.
And one thing that Rob Chudzinski would love to see out of any quarterback, because there's so many options, is you have to continue to develop as a young quarterback and see the defense and spread the wealth to the different players you have out there.
Like pass to the tight end Winslow, went up and caught it 15 yards, or 10 yards, excuse me. And just shy of the 1st down. That one, he had a drop in there, but there are times, and Kellen Winslow knows that, so does Brock Berlin, that you got to force the ball to one of the best players in the country.
Nice little touch there as he put it right over a defender, knowing that Kellen Winslow can go up in the air to make the catch.
And also, that was Kellen Winslow was the primary man, so he didn't have to read too much. Just throw the ball to Kellen Winslow. I like that. Take the ball, throw it to 81.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Garrett Payton dances to the left. Have the 1st down, a pickup of 5, close to the 20-yard line. 8 minutes left in quarter 2.
See, by throwing the football, it allows that offensive line to be able to push West Virginia. There's more of a surge on that play than any other run that Miami's been able to have, and it's because of the threat now of the pass. West Virginia's defense has to respect that.
Miami's going to go with 1 receiver, Kevin Beard, at the top of your screen. 2 tight ends, Kevin Everett, 6'6", 240, and Winslow, the All-America, in motion. Everybody out in the pattern. Winslow open, but he couldn't get it to him. Berlin's pass was short.
Wow, you'd think he was open. You should have seen Kellen Winslow. He was waving his arms. Give me the ball.
He's doing that if he has. It was a wheel route. If he would have stopped right there, he's open, but he ran right into a defender.
Sweetheart, yeah, which defender?
I'm with you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't.
Frazier was back there waiting, but you're right. When you got one-on-one with Kellen Winslow, you got to take it.
And he's 6'9", 400-pound tight end.
Against 5'11", 190.
Moore and Parrish come in the game to join Beard. 3 receivers, 1 back. Out of the gun, Payton runs. Across the 20 and to the 16-yard line. Pick up a 5 here on the play. Well, a reminder, college football Saturday on ESPN. Down to the Plains in Alabama. To see it, Jordan Hare. If Casey Clausen and number 7 Tennessee can stay unbeaten against Auburn. Game also available on ESPN HD. Now available nationwide. 7:45 Eastern with Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Kirsten.
Is that on ESPN too?
That's ESPN. Oh. Tennessee, Georgia the next week is on ESPN.
Great game.
Yeah, it's on ESPN too. Because ESPN next week has Wisconsin, Ohio State up in Madison, and Notre Dame Pitt. I'm confused. Just turn it on Saturday. 35. Stiffing zone. Berlin. Comes to Winslow. He lost it out of bounds. Where will they spot it? It's a catch and a fumble out of bounds. Winslow kept going, but you didn't have the ball, Kelly. Let's see where they mark it for the first down.
Good call. Sorry.
That's how he's going at it hard. Adam Jones, the sophomore out of the Atlanta suburb of College Park, made the play, and the chain's coming in for a measurement.
Jones scrappy out there. Might be giving up some size. He's not backing down from Kellen Winslow.
First down, Miami.
It's 5'10", 190 pounds, going up against 6'5", 250. Sticks him. A little bit of push, and watch Jones. Sophomore said, hey, I'm backing down.
The officials did a nice job spotting the ball on that fumble. You saw right there on the replay. It came out of bounds at the 11, and that's where it was marked. So Miami, which has been very good in the red zone in this 2003 season, has it at the 11. Payton tries to get the corner. Trying to cut it up inside. It was tumbled down after a gain of a yard. Mike Lorello was hobbled after he made that awkward tackle. We've seen Winslow, the pass catcher. How about him in the blocking form, guys?
He's going to try to get upfield and try to pick up the linebacker. This time going up against Scott Jerko, and he is a physical tight. He's become more physical, not just a tight end playing as a receiver.
That would be called a pancake, which means he put Jerko on his back. Good block.
Bunch formation here at the bottom of the screen. An NFL look with Winslow as the top of the bunch here. Tough to pick up a guy when you're all bunched. The throw is nearly intercepted. I'll tell you what, Lance Frazier had the pick, but with DeAndre Washington out there in coverage as well, knocked it out of 19's hands. He did a nice job against a difficult-to-defend formation that Miami showed there.
Well, there's a quarterback. You're just throwing that to a spot. And it's a timing route with Kevin Beard, hoping he's going to get there before the defender. But Frazier, who's had a really good half, is sitting back, and he saw the ball the entire time. And you're right, Mike, he had the pick.
Come back to it again, but this time Winslow's up at the top of the screen, perhaps against man coverage. Now he's got 2 of them. They throw it to the spot again for Ryan Moore, who had no chance of getting there. So the West Virginia defense did a nice job here in the red zone. And Miami will be looking at a field goal of 28 yards.
And when they get inside that red zone, that's when they miss that Frank Gore. Remember that Frank Gore against Florida? Boy, he made that little cut. You need that quick running back like Gore inside the red zone, not a pounder like Payton.
One-dimensional teams are average in the red zone.
Exactly, you're right, Mike.
Doesn't matter which dimension you're good at. Penalty marker is down. West Virginia try to take a timeout, or did they come in with an illegal substitution?
It's funny to think of Miami as a one-dimensional team. But when you take away the speed of Frank Gore.
12 players on the field, on the defense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
5-yard penalty makes it 4th and 3, but you still want to kick the field goal here.
Absolutely.
When you take away Frank Gore, they really have become one-dimensional. 110 yards passing, only 31 rushing. But this is one of the most balanced offenses in the country the last 4 or 5 years in college football.
Before this game, they had 140 runs, 136 passes.
It's every year they can hurt you both ways.
Yep.
Some of the fans murmuring that the Canes should go for it, but you need a long 3, maybe even 4 yards. You let Petty kick here from 22.
You want to go in halftime winning if possible. I don't care if it's 10-7 or what.
Petty hasn't missed from under 40 yards. And you see that announcer jinx isn't always true. He still hasn't missed from under 40 yards. And Miami comes back from down 7-0 at the quarter. They've scored the last 10. Rich Rodriguez's offense has hit a little bit of a wall. Let's see what happens when you come back. Well, down by the Miami student section, their attention was focused on Tallahassee. And the visit coming up in 9 days to Florida State on ABC at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. But Larry Coker trying to warn his team about taking care of business here this week because they haven't been as sharp as they wanted in the last few games. And if Coker or everyone else around Miami did not get their attention, West Virginia's 162-yard first quarter got their attention. Mountaineers led 7-0. Miami's responded with the last 10.
Larry Coker did something interesting this week. He practiced first-team offense against first-team defense to get the tempo going because he thought he might have a letdown, and he was absolutely right psychologically.
I think that hurricane heading to Tallahassee has turned to a tropical storm.
Yeah.
First time.
A.J. Harris from the 2-yard line. Slow to start. Room over the 20 and out to the 28-yard line. So West Virginia's field position's been backed up. Well, guys, West Virginia had 165 yards of total offense in the first quarter, just 10 since here. What has happened to the West Virginia offense that they were doing so well early that they're not doing now?
Well, Miami started playing harder. That's number one on defense. But I think the key thing is a nice offensive plan by Rich Rodriguez and his staff kept Miami off balance.
I think the first half so far, you've seen a West Virginia team play with great hunger and a great attitude. The big thing, like it always is with Miami, one play, one sequence of plays, it can turn the game around completely. But West Virginia's defense holding Miami to 3 was very big. Now let's see what Rasheed Marshall can do to try to keep a little bit of momentum for the Mountaineers.
7th drive of the night. Best field position to start for WVU. Rasheed Marshall, the quarterback, he's trying to go up top. For his big man, caught by Chris Henry. They'll spot Henry out of bounds after a pickup of 28 at the Miami 44.
Well, that's taking advantage of a tall receiver. Henry's 6'4.5", maybe close to 6'5". And Marshall, known as a running quarterback, also has worked very hard on throwing the ball. Look at this throw. Right over the shoulder of Henry. And Henry has the speed to get by Antrell Roll to get open against that man coverage.
And Antrell Roll is one of the best defensive backs in the country. So that means great job on the side of West Virginia.
West Virginia's got to do what Miami's done. Loosen them up to get the running game going again. The 45, Quincy Wilson, the penalty marker down. And this play is whistled dead.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
For those of you who don't follow the Big East on a regular basis, Rich Rodriguez and his team, 3-8 in his first season, took over after the legendary Don Nehlen was so successful at West Virginia. 3-8 year one. They come in last year, go 9-4, get to the Continental Tire Bowl. Rodriguez given a 7-year, nearly $6 million extension. Team off to the 1-3 start here, a very young team, a lot of key personnel change. After the flag, second and long, Wilson gashes the can, still going across the 30, dragging Miami players to the 25. 25 yards of strong running for the kid from Weirton, West Virginia.
What a great call by West Virginia. They run a sweep play, and they caught him on an inside blitz. Everybody blocked down, and watch it, Kirk. They leave a little bit of a seam there. Watch the blitz. Everybody blocks down. Right there, number 1. K.J. Harris had a key block.
Well, not only catching him in the blitz, coach, but also tough running and poor tackling from the Miami secondary.
12 carries, 82 yards for the senior Quincy Wilson. From the 25, K.J. Harris has the corner, 15 and 10, pushes forward to the 5. So this is the Mountaineer team we saw at the start of the game, guys. Running hard, running through the Canes. And West Virginia has already run for over 125 yards on the night. First and goal.
Mike, this is amazing. 2 plays in a row that this Miami defense is not able to come up and watch it. This is an All-American that's coming up to make a play. They have 8 guys up in the box. Sean Taylor, make the play right there. How about that by these running backs from West Virginia? The strength and power, this time of Harris, to be able to get upfield.
And remember, Harris is from Tampa, Florida, so he'd love to win this game even more.
Fofana, the fullback, in motion to lead the way, but Harris chose the inside route, and nothing was home. Second down coming up. How has West Virginia been as an offense inside the red zone? They've been pretty good. Coming into tonight, they were in there 10 times, scored 9, 8 of them touchdowns. Again, the team that can do it all, run and pass, effective in the red zone.
This has been an impressive drive. You know, after their touchdown, where they threw the wheel route and scored, their next 10 plays, they couldn't do anything. This is another drive where they've been able to come up and get the Miami defense on their heels.
Boy, I'd make sure that Marshall, number 2, is in on the goal line, rolling out somewhere.
They keep it like that. It's to throw it. The throw is too high and incomplete for Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey, a tight end, and if the tight end would have caught it for West Virginia, it would have been news border to border in the state. No West Virginia tight end has caught a pass thus far this year in 17 quarters in 12 minutes.
Well, that's Rich Rodriguez. Give him all the credit in the world, going against a lot of his tendencies coming to this game. You can tell that Miami's confused with this package that they're seeing tonight from West Virginia. Rich Rodriguez, really the last 3 years going up against Miami, has put together a heck of a package and trying to catch Miami off guard.
It's one of those things that happens when you have an off week. Self-scout yourself. Yep. Go against your tendencies.
Good offensive mind helps.
Yep. Timeout Mountaineers. 3rd and goal coming up when you come back. On this drive, West Virginia's had plays of 27, 25, and 20 yards. Moving it downfield and in position to try to take the lead against Miami. Don't want to turn it over here. Nope. Field goal ties the game. Getting closer to halftime.
I wouldn't be surprised. What I would call is I'd spread them all out and I'd run the option play. That gives old Marshall a chance to pitch it or cut it in.
I love to give Marshall a chance on the edge option or bootleg. Give him a chance to run or throw.
A run straight ahead. Wilson pounding forward. Finally stopped at the 2. So from here, it's an extra point-size field goal, but from the right hash mark.
If I was going to set up a field goal, I would have ran the ball to the left. Because then you could kick the ball right in the middle. That's what I would have done, Rich Rodriguez. But I would not have run the ball to set up a field goal because I'd have tried to get a touchdown.
You're going to let it run all the way down, then take time out. Both Sykes shaking up for Miami. Their senior strong safety. So Miami, if you're just joining us, they've already lost a terrific tailback in Frank Gore to a knee injury. He's out for the remainder of the game. Now they look at Sykes. As Brandon Merriweather is prepared to enter the game by defensive backs coach Mark Stoops.
That's a famous name in it, Mark Stoops. Brother Bobby, Mike, great coaches at Oklahoma. An interesting stat about Mark Stoops. His dad was the defensive coordinator at Cardinal Mooney High School in Youngstown, Ohio for 28 years. Is that a coaching family or what?
I think that's 2 weeks in a row that Cardinal Mooney has made it into the broadcast.
Just a second.
Go ahead.
Don
Bucci. Finish it off.
All right, Don Bucci. One of my favorite coaches of all time, Youngstown.
What West Virginia tried to do here was get to the 4th down, let the clock run down and call the timeout, but obviously the clock was stopped with the injury to Sykes, who had shoulder surgery back in the offseason. He played most of last year with one arm. He was injured all year and played through the pain, and now he is up, but very groggy and gingerly, I should say, being helped off the field.
One thing I found as a coach, when a team is not psychologically ready and focused, they get a lot of guys nicked up. You ever notice that? Mark that down in your calendar to watch. If a team's not fired up, a lot of guys get nicked up and carried out or helped off or something because they're not getting hit. They're hitting. You're getting hit and not hitting.
Here's the field goal kicker. Yep. He's on the sideline. The team is out on the field thinking about going for it. Many of those fourth down attempts were in longer situations than this.
Yeah, the old ball coach here might have a trick or two up his sleeve.
Well, I wouldn't do it.
The clock does restart. They might be taking the time here to wind it down and take time out before 0 and kick the field goal. Maybe they're going to go for it. Let's see.
It's Rich Rodriguez.
I wouldn't do this. I'd tie the score.
He hasn't snapped it yet.
Yeah.
Sarah doesn't look real excited to snap it either.
Checking everybody out. See the play clock. It's down to 0.
Just back on it. That's it.
Flag comes down. Because of the injury happened on a play that was within the sidelines, thus the clock was able to restart.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
I would decline the penalty because the angle is better when you move 5 yards. Sure. I would keep the ball right where it was. I'd decline the penalty, Miami. You could do it. Yep. They don't want to do it.
This did everything right for Rodriguez. Gave him a better angle for his kicker who struggled. Right. This kid's got a really good leg. Officially a 25-yard attempt to square the game. And powered through by Brad Cooper. So a nice drive for the Mountaineers. They have to settle for a field goal, but if you told anybody in West Virginia, inside of 3 minutes left, it's going to be a 10-10 game, they would have signed for that and take their chances from there.
Coming off to Maryland, they would take 10-10 against anybody at halftime, let alone the number 2 team in the country on the road. This is an unbelievable effort and performance by not only Rasheed Marshall, but this entire West Virginia team playing with great heart today.
How about that offensive line you mentioned earlier in the show, boy? They have done a nice job of controlling along line of scrimmage.
You know, they have 125 yards rushing and 124 yards passing. Wow. I thought Miami was going to come in with such great balance. And after not quite a half, it's West Virginia, this offense, that's showing great balance.
And that was Miami's intention coming in, but I think the injury to Gore has changed everything short term and who knows how long. Again, Gore injured his knee. Mo Sykes being helped back to the locker room now. The Frank Gore knee injury, Jerry Punch told us, out for the game. They'll do further exam tomorrow on his knee. Let's go down to Jerry right now.
And guys, the reason that John Uribe takes these players like Frank Gore now and Mo Sykes to the locker room is out here with all the noise and everything, everybody watching, it's hard for a young man to relax. You get so much guarding, it's hard to really examine the knee. They're going to go in, take a look at the right knee. It was the right knee they're looking at, by the way, on Mo Sykes. We'll update you right before halftime.
All right, Doc Punch, thank you. Nobody better to have you covered than somebody gets hurt than Doc. Brad Cooper shows some of that strong leg. Oh, yeah, so they decide to pop it up. Nice job by Darnell Jenkins to run forward, catch the little pooch kick, and take it out to the 31-yard line. What are you doing at halftime? Gonna eat lunch? Eat dinner? Or are you gonna wait for Fowler?
Oh, yeah, gotta wait for Fowler.
All right, let's see what Chris...
topic at halftime, guys.
Thank you, Chris. See you guys in a little bit. Chris, Trevor Mark back in the studio. First and 10, drive start from the 31. 5 options to throw. Peyton out of the backfield. Just shy of the 40. Second and a couple coming up. We have a tight game in addition to the second half. Some topics on the landscape we'll touch on in the second half, including Miami trying to keep alive their win streaks. 36 in a row in the regular season, 25 in the Big East, and 24 here in the Orange Bowl. Peyton, first down, pick number 5, just shy of the 45.
Well, what I would be concerned of for Miami, I know it's 10-10, but if you get a turnover and let these guys stay in the ball game or get an easy touchdown, like a pick 6, you're in big-time trouble.
At the same time, Brock Berlin with this no-huddle shotgun seems to really find the comfort zone. There's plenty of time here to attack downfield. Open receiver.
Comes back left to Ryan Moore, gets out of bounds at the 41-yard line. There's 2 minutes minutes left now. Miami has all of its timeouts. They locked into the 2-minute offense, and they're a better offense.
I'm telling you, with Brock Berlin, I think this offense, and Rob Chudzinski and Larry Coker are going to have to look at this as they get ready for the second half and then get ready for next week. There's Rob Chudzinski against Florida State in Tallahassee. This is an offense that seems to have more rhythm from the shotgun when they go no huddle. Time is not an issue, Coach. I think you got to attack and get downfield and try to get some points.
But you got to be very careful to keep the underdog really in the game with a turnover.
Beard and Parrish at the bottom of your screen. They're the two receivers. Berlin looking left for Ryan Moore. The 30 inside the 35. He's out of Orlando, Lee, and I know a guy that you've seen way beyond just his first year here at Miami.
When I saw that young man at Dr. Phillips High School as a sophomore, I said that was one of the best-looking basketball players and athletes. He led it in track, led it in basketball and football, one of the best-looking athletes ever to come out of Central Florida.
I feel that Ryan Moore, with the more experience he gets, can be a Reggie Wayne type of receiver, really a difference maker on the outside.
Wayne, a difference maker now for Peyton Manning on the other side of Marvin Harrison to the Colts. How good were they? They look good. New Orleans. 2nd and 3. Berlin's getting a lot of time to throw. More again. Ball came out. I thought it was after it hit the ground. It was. Good job by the field judge, Ben Van Scotchkin, on that. 20 yards.
If you're going to give Brock Berlin time like this, one of the routes you're going to have to be able to defend is the dig route, the crossing route at about 18 yards. Nice job by the offensive line. Look how comfortable Berlin looks. He's taken about 2 or 3 hitches. He's definitely down. The ball comes out once he hits the ground. But it's almost like watching a different quarterback when you watch him back there in a shotgun, sitting back there in total command of this offense. And a nice job by Moore to pick up the yardage.
Good number. Peyton will pick up the blitz. Winslow crosses at the 5. Will be shy of a first down. Buck 18 left.
In our discussion yesterday when we had with Brock Berlin, remember he got in an argument with Jonathan Vilma, and they were talking about the 2-minute drill, and they go good against good, and that's why they're so good at this, Mike. And he said we're ahead 3-2, and I thought they were going to have a little fight right there.
Yeah, Vilma said, go ahead, tell the truth.
Yeah,
tell the truth, Brock. I mean, I'm not going to say anything. You tell them the deal on the 2-minute drill. Berlin said, well, we won 1.
Berlin's 5 of 5 on this drive. They'll snap it from the 5. We're going South Beach postgame tonight, guys?
I got a 6 a.m., man.
Okay, 6:50. I'm on the air tomorrow, boss.
We might be able to grow.
LC is going out tonight?
Blue pajamas, white socks, as fast as I can get.
Little chicken tonight, late?
No, it's too late.
Too late. Yes, getting breakfast in the morning. Brock Berlin 5 of 5 on this drive. 3 of them to Ryan Moore, the redshirt freshman receiver.
This is where they miss Frank Gore. Let's see if Peyton can pick it up here.
Jarrett Payton runs right, hanging forward, down to the 1. We'll have about 1:05 left and a Miami first down when they spot it and get it going.
Completely different feel with Jarrett Payton. Jarrett Payton's going to lower that shoulder and run over top of you. Whereas Frank Gore was elusive and had just outstanding vision.
6'2" compared to 5'10", different types of body weight. Brandon Sebald, the third-string tight end, is in to join Everett and Winslow. It's Sebald in motion. And Payton running right. Can he get to the corner? The Mountaineers do a good job of pursuing. Miami has 2 timeouts left. Use one here. There you go with 39 seconds remaining. A little bit of breeze tonight, a humid night. Temperature the 80s to start and the high 70s now. Humidity not too far from that. Rich Rodriguez among all of us feeling the effects, but it's still a pretty picture from up top. Whenever the Goodyear blimp is flying above a stadium, you know it's a big game. Overhead tonight, providing these beautiful aerial views, the Florida-based Stars and Stripes, one of 3 airships in the Goodyear blimp fleet.
If I was Miami right now, I would definitely get that ball to number 81, Kellen Winslow.
Get some good moves here.
That is definitely the scooter.
South Beach?
Scooter, that looks like your moves right there in the front.
Not me. Are you kidding me? White pajamas. In my blue pajamas and white socks. Again, get back to football, you guys.
Thank you.
Just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
Kellen Winslow, number 81 right now, is the key guy. Remember, they either throw him on a fade, a crossing route or something, but definitely get the ball to number 81.
You know, I think you can think about doing here is you have the fade and you have the quick slant.
Right.
And depending on how Winslow, when he lines up out there, if they decide to flex him out, depending on how that defender lines up either inside or to the outside will dictate. He'll give a sign back into Brock Berlin to tell him what he's going to do. So you give him the option out there depending on what the corner is going to do. If
get the ball to him.
Yeah.
Wherever he is. If he's sitting over the sideline, flex him out to the right.
Brian Moore, the basketball player.
No,
let's flex where he's now. Now you have an option here of the fade against a defensive back who's 5'10".
Yep.
He's got inside leverage here. This will be a good fade to the top.
7-inch height difference. That's where Berlin goes. And it is intercepted by Adam Jones.
I told you should throw the ball to Winslow. That was a great play by Jones.
It was a horrible throw by Brock Berlin. And you have Kellen Winslow, who's 6'5", going up against Adam Jones at 5'10". The whole stadium knew that this was going to happen. Put some air under it and throw it to the corner. He got too cute with it. He short-armed it. He tried to aim the ball, and he threw it right into the arms of Adam Jones, who did a good job of bodying Kellen Winslow to the corner.
You talk about the play and the physical stature and the change. You need a tough guy to make that play. Adam Jones is a young man who was toughened in the difficult area of Atlanta, in the projects, and saw his dad die at a young age. And that time going up against Kellen Winslow was not a big issue for him. He's always had to deal with that height disadvantage during his stretch. What a play there to stop the momentum for Miami and keep this game tied at halftime.
Adam Jones's effort in his first half, not just that play, Mike, but this whole half kind of represents West Virginia in that underdog role coming in. They had to move Brian King to free safety. Adam Jones is forced in to start, and he had a great half.
One thing also about Jones, he gave up 7 inches to Winslow on that play, but Brock Berlin's pass never gave Winslow a chance to use the 6'5" stature.
Halftime shocker in South Florida. All tied at 10. Doc punches Larry Coker.
Well, Coach, a shocker here at halftime. A sluggish start by the Hurricanes. What is your message to the offense at halftime?
Well, offensively, we've got to do things to win the football game. We're not doing things to make plays. We're getting our playmakers the ball at times. We're being impatient at times. We get out, we throw the interception. So, again, we're just not doing things to win the football game, not playing smart football. And defensively, we're giving up too many. We get long runs, long pass. Again, we're not doing things to win.
Okay, Coach, thanks so much. Third year in a row, guys, this spread offense has moved the football on the Miami Hurricanes.
That's right, Doc. A 4-touchdown favorite. Miami will get the ball to start the second half, but they are being pushed. All squared at 10. Now the Pontiac High Performance halftime report. Chris Trev. And not right now, Chris, and on their mind is not individual awards. It's team survival as West Virginia has come in here, the Mountaineers, with their good running game, plus the injury to Frank Gore that we talked about earlier, the injured left knee out in the first quarter. Further examination tomorrow has given Rasheed Marshall in West Virginia the opportunity to believe in themselves. And after they saw Miami score 10 unanswered in the second quarter, a well-led drive by Marshall. Rich Rodriguez's spread offense, hitting the pass at the right time, power running on Miami, and now Brock Berlin and Miami are in a ball game. All tied at 10. Berlin's been in the shotgun. He's been more comfortable, looked a little better as we got through the second quarter. But the big pick at the end of the quarter, trying to get Kellen Winslow for a go-ahead score, has left this game all even. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch. Glad you're on board for College Football Thursday, and a much more interesting game than many thought. Adam Jones' interception at the end of the half allowed West Virginia to stay tied. Winslow and Miami offense will get the ball first to start the third quarter. It is a humid night, which always becomes a factor with the road team in Miami. We'll watch West Virginia closely as quarter 3 begins. With the kickoff return. Well covered. Darnell Jenkins didn't get back to the 20, and the Mountaineers loved it. K.J. Harris, who's been everywhere tonight for West Virginia, made the big play. Shocked, surprised?
Oh, shocked. And I think the key, though, is Rich Rodriguez and his staff, both offensively and defensively, tremendous game plans on both sides of the ball.
Tremendous game plan, and give the players and the coaches from West Virginia a lot of credit. The attitude, it's 10-10 because one team showed up at 1-3 with a hungrier attitude than the home team tonight. They have to maintain that in the second half. They didn't win this game because they're tied 10-10. They're going to either win or lose in this second half.
First down run, Jarrett Payton gains about a yard, and that's it. I'm not afraid to stick their nose in here. Mike Lorello made the tackle. Lee, what coaching adjustments would you make?
For Miami, they went 65 yards in less than 2 minutes using the shotgun with Brock Berlin. Kirk, he threw the ball left, he threw the ball right. He looked much more comfortable. That's why, Dukes.
I don't know if I would go to a 2-minute offense just for the entire half, but I would, if I had to throw the ball, get Brock Berlin back in the shotgun because he seems to be more comfortable and able to find his rhythm by throwing the football back in the shotgun.
Those the Home Depot coaching adjustments. 2nd and 8, and here is Payton with some space, but not the speed to get away from Grant Wiley, the top tackler on this Mountaineer team, called the unquestioned leader of the team by his coach, Rich Rodriguez, with 3rd and 6 coming up.
Grant Wiley, the thing I was impressed about him last week, he had 11 tough tackles against Maryland, a game they were getting beat really bad before he left on cramps. I started something really nice, but let me something. The guys that I like on my football team is when you get beat bad, make all the tackles. That guy's a football player right there.
And he's made plenty of tackles in his Mountaineer career. 3rd and 8. Here's Adam Jones, 9. He's back to you. Or 3rd and 5, I should say. Coverage on Ryan Moore, and Miami is now going to be faced with 3rd and 10.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
I think this is a big sequence of plays and also big 3rd down, not only for Miami, but for Brock Berlin. Don't forget, Lee, you talked about the 2-minute offense and the shotgun and moving the Canes down. This is a 3rd down to end the half. He tried to throw that ball perfectly instead of just getting back and throwing it to the pylon and letting his bigger receiver make the play. And Jones, of course, came up with the interception. That's how he ended the half. He needs to come back here now in the second half and try to find his rhythm.
Does that mentally hang with you? Well, a bad pass like that?
I think a guy like Brock Berlin has shown the ability to shake it. Remember the Florida game, he was able to do that. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him bounce back in the second half.
He fires for more. Incomplete. That West Virginia zone didn't give him many places to throw. And it is 3 and out to start quarter 3. Credit this West Virginia defense that have been giving up nearly 400 yards per game. Jeff Castile, their defensive coordinator, has done a nice job with this 3-3-5 defense.
Remember, they ran the first 2 plays. That was not my recommendation. Just thought I'd mention it.
You want the 2-minute, right?
Absolutely.
Ryan Monroe punches away. Fair catch. Oh, boy, the folks in West Virginia are clapping. They are clapping at their TV, but it was not the Pac-Man. Lance Frazier went back to make the catch. Their normal punt returner in most situations, Adam the Pac-Man Jones, never fair catches. And it drives folks wild. Let's go game track for you. If you're just joining us, here's what's happened. Now, West Virginia has jumped back in this game. One, because Miami's changed its offense. Only 41 rushing yards after the knee injury to Frank Gore. The Mountaineers have run 23 times for 125 yards. Brock Berlin intercepted twice. The start of the game, then the end of the half, as the Pac-Man Jones came up with the INT. Best field position for the night for West Virginia from its own 35. Quincy Wilson. No gain, 2nd and 10. Doc, what were the Mountaineers talking about in Rich Rodriguez's locker room?
A fired-up Mountaineer locker room at halftime. Rich Rodriguez's message, guys, if we don't put the football on the ground early twice, we should be leading here at the end of halftime. He said, guys, 1 play at a time, 1 play at a time. Not halves, not quarters, 1 play at a time. The big leadership coming from the senior Quincy Wilson, getting his offensive line fired up at halftime.
Wilson just limped off. Marshall throws on their own, incomplete. They ran on that look earlier tonight. They throw it there. Incomplete. Wilson hobbles off, and they'll check him.
You know, a name we did not call in the first half. Maybe one time for Miami. Jonathan Vilma. If Miami's going to be able to take control of this football game and get their defense back to playing, the way they should be. Jonathan Vilma needs to become that active leader. He had such a great game against Boston College in the first 2 plays here to start the second half. He made the tackle, and then he chased Marshall into the boundary to have to throw that ball prematurely.
Marshall faces 3rd and 10. The West Virginia quarterback, one of his last 5. Takes off. Can he get the block to get the first down? Spinning, moving forward. He's just going to end up short. Sean Taylor almost got there. DJ Williams cleaned it up. And the Mountaineers are going to have 4th and less than a yard from their own 45.
What do you think? 4th and less yard, you guys?
It's your job, Lee, not ours.
Punt the ball down to Miami and make them make the mistake. Remember, they're the #2 team in the nation, and you got them tied. Yeah. All of the pressure is on Miami. Punt it, Coach Rodriguez. Punt it.
But you got to say it's a no-brainer, don't you? You're on your own 44, 10-10. You got to punt the ball.
Well, yeah, could be. But some guys would go for it.
Todd James to punt. Miami's had virtually no return yards tonight. That's so important. They get it away quickly. Roscoe Parrish is back, has a chance to return from the 19. He's got 2 blocks here if he can get the corner. He's slowed down enough. Now reverses his field, and he's tripped up at the 15. Woo! -4 on the return. The kick was 37. Abraham Jones rose up to make the play. Brock Berlin and the Canes, a long field to deal with when you come back. There is West Virginia's best tailback, Quincy Wilson, dealing with cramping issues on the sideline. We'll go check with Jerry Punch momentarily. Guys, how many times have we been to the Orange Bowl and seen this with the visitors in the second half, right after halftime? Every year without fail, here in the Holiday Bowl, same thing. We see it all the time. Fourth field position for Miami to start tonight. Its own 15. Berlin to throw. Nice pass to Kevin Everett, the other tight end. 6'6", big as a bull, strong as an ox. Took him out to the 34. And a flag comes in with late pushing. I think that might have been Adam Jones getting a little too physical.
I think it's going to be on Kellen Winslow for coming to the face of Adam Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he retaliated. Jones' body language came towards Winslow after the whistle, but didn't make contact. And then Winslow came up with two hands to the face of Jones.
And these are the guys who were head-to-head on the interception play at the end of the half.
Mike, it's been going on the entire half. There's a lot of chirping going on back and forth. Winslow, of course, is right in the middle of it for Miami. West Virginia's defensive backs are almost taunting him, trying to get him to do something that he would regret.
After the play was over, personal foul on the offense, personal foul on the defense. The penalty's offset.
I think what I saw was the second one, and you caught the first one.
Yep, it's the Jones retaliated, you know, and that's part of talking trash. You're going to get a guy to do something that he regrets. Watch this, right close to the camera, real close, boom, and this retaliation right there. Both those guys lucky they're not thrown out of this football game.
Really, really lucky.
2 swings to the face mask. And
really lucky.
And you know what, right now? Rich Rodriguez is saying, hey, don't back down. If they're going to come at you, come right back.
That Jones shot, that's a punch to the face. I know it's in retaliation, it's still a punch to the face.
Yep.
And in my book, that's fighting and you get thrown out.
We've had a couple of those the last few weeks.
That's right. Miami move. Berlin's clapping as though they induced West Virginia in first.
I'm with you. I don't think he saw Kevin Beard in motion. Maybe. Who knows?
Prior to the snap.
They got it. They got it.
Yep. Defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
We mentioned Quincy Wilson cramping a moment ago. Let's go visit with Doc for a second.
Exactly, Michael. This heat and humidity beginning to take its toll on some of the Mountaineers. There's Quincy Wilson sitting down trying to stretch to keep from getting some cramps in both calves. They're trying to get him stretched out. At halftime, IVs for Adam Jones. He was likewise cramping after putting it all on the line in the first half. He's back in the game, but they're concerned about keeping fluids in him as well.
So that's why Lance Frazier was back to catch the last punt. 1st and 5. Winslow, the tight end, looking for number 9, looking for the ball first from his number 7. He's going to block. Peyton puts it back across the 45. Has a first down at the 48-yard line. Brian King joins Adam Jones with the tackle after the gain of 8.
And Nice run there. Good vision by Jared Payton. But I think Kellen Winslow really needs to try to control his emotions. He is a great player. The best tight end, one of the best players in college football. He's waiting. He gets the pancake. But he doesn't need to do this. I mean, every single play, he's got something to say to a West Virginia defender.
The 47 play pass. Quadrin Hill, the fullback, is knocked out of bounds. Wiley, the left linebacker, leads his team in tackles, stops him for no gain. Kirk, doesn't it come back to Winslow's frustration of seeing triple cover, built as the Heisman guy preseason, the unbelievable game in the championship game against Ohio State, seeing triple coverage and not seeing the ball the way he saw it last year?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's frustration for not getting the opportunities, but I also think it's a volatile personality, and he loses his cool sometimes. I know he's a competitor. He's a great competitor, but I think the reason it's a big deal to me is because Miami has tried to shake that image that they talk trash every play, and that Kellen Winslow is bringing that attitude back to Miami.
Here he is, ball in hand, angling for the first down marker.
Get back in the huddle. Great play. You don't need to say anything. Just get back in the huddle.
Certainly had to look for Lance Frazier, pick up a 13.
I'd like to add one thing, competitor or not, there's no place in football for a showboat like Winslow talking and talking. You play football, and then you go across, catch it, get back in the huddle like you've been there before. There's no reason in the world to be talking so much. It just bothers the hell out of me when you get these great players that eat it out, Play.
Play the game, get back in the huddle. I understand he's trying to spark his team, but he does, like I said, it's been going on the entire game between Winslow and this defense.
Rolling and rolling to this side. Good job by Miami. Feet on the ball if he's angry. To the 21-yard line. First down. Rob Kuczynski, the offensive coordinator, is an old tight end. And when Kellen Winslow was playing against BC earlier this year, and you see him continuing what these guys were talking about, he wasn't getting the ball. He got frustrated, got on the phone with his offensive coordinator and said, let's run. I want to block. And they kept running and ran behind Winslow, trying to get that frustration properly focused into football here.
When they put this guy number 84 in there, Kevin Everett, you're going to see another pro tight end come out of this place. 6'6", 240-pound junior college guy from Fort Arthur, Texas. Keep your eye on number 84. That is a man.
First down, Payton runs up the middle into the red zone now. And to the 18-yard line. I don't want to let this go, guys, because I don't want to squash your point, because I'm the one who can't stand yapping, and I think more flags should be thrown for celebration. But in talking to Kellen the other day, I sensed such frustration, things off the field, the build-up to the season, not seeing the ball, and I think it's coming out whenever you get to a stress point with him.
Well, I also think that beyond the frustrations, I think he knows he got a lot of hype for what he did in that Fiesta Bowl by sparking his team in the second half emotionally. And I think sometimes still a young player thinks that he has to always do that, provide that spark. He doesn't always have to be that volatile leader for the Miami Hurricanes. Just be a great player, one of the best in the country. You could still provide some emotion without talking trash to your opponent.
Prior to the snap, offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Backup nose tackle Craig Wilson out of River Ridge, Louisiana, was in the game for Ben Lynch. And this is a little bit of what Rich Rodriguez told us this morning. Have to get my second teamers in because they're going to get exhausted in this heat and humidity. These guys are inexperienced and might make key mistakes. Giving Miami 2nd and 3 mistake.
Can you feel a different attitude with this offense? They've made some adjustments, and they're being able to find different ways to open up this offense by staying under center with their quarterback.
Winslow in motion, blocks, stays in. Now releases as the check down. Back to the 15 and got leveled. Man, pads are popping down there. Jones was up there first. Morello came for the cleanup.
From the sidelines, it looks like to me as a former coach that this ball game is going to get down to winning with field goals and defense. It's no longer going to be an offensive explosion from Miami because they don't have the running attack. They are a one-dimensional football team right now, and they're going to have problems. They got to kick field goals and play good defense if they're going to beat West Virginia today. That's my opinion.
52 yards rushing, 219 yards passing. That is not a Miami offense.
4 for the first down, 15 for the touchdown. Down. The pressure came from that same guy, Mike Lorello, out of Powell, Ohio. Nice suburb of Columbus, right?
Oh, yeah, but I got a great story about this guy. Mike Lorello is a 5-time soccer state championship team. He plays basketball and lacrosse. Have you ever heard of a guy who's a member of a 5-time soccer championship team without a kicker? Hey.
That's right, he's not a kicker.
Nothing but great athletes in Powell, Ohio.
Oh, please. 32-yard field goal for John Petty. Attempt from the right. Out of Matt Carter's hold. The kick is good. Winslow, a couple of big catches to get him in field goal range. Miami retakes the lead. Now Rasheed Marshall and West Virginia have to answer. They did last time they were trailing. The great city of Miami, Florida. Canes 13, Mountaineers 10. Halfway through quarter number 3. This humid night may take a toll on the Mountaineers before all is said and done. I have to watch them as they continue to cramp up and get as much fluid as possible in on the sideline. Brian Monroe's kickoff. He's taken back from the 2. K.J. Harris eludes one tackler and got pushed out of bounds at the 21. A couple of big Miami injuries in the first half. Let's go check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, guys, we might just reiterate that Frank Gore, there's Frank back out on the bench, his left knee examined in the locker room. He will have an MRI tomorrow morning. Likewise, the right knee of Mo Sykes examined at halftime. They will probably have an MRI. The focus for both MRIs will be to take a long, hard look at the anterior cruciate ligament in both those great athletes. Again, Frank Gore, there's Frank on the bench, and Mo Sykes, left knee for Gore, right knee for Sykes. Examination tomorrow by John Uribe.
You can only hope it's good news, but so often it's not. Best wishes to those kids of Miami's season and their careers. Pressure on, Marshall got out of his hands. Loss of 2 as Dee Alston was lucky to hang on. Sean Taylor hit him and hit him hard. Without Mo Sykes back in that secondary, Brandon Merriweather's in there, a redshirt freshman from Apopka, Florida. He'll join Taylor at the safety spot.
He's a young player, but talking to Mark Stoops, that's one position that they feel pretty comfortable with their depth, is that back end with their safeties and their corners.
2nd and 12, option look, snuffed out by Miami. And Brian Pata got over there for the early input. Vilma cleaned it up at the end, and it might be Pata who took the worst of it. And Brian, the freshman out of Miami Central High School, is shaken up.
Well, you just hate to see this for anybody, but this Miami team has been a mash unit this year. They have been hit by the injury bug probably more so than any other team that's trying to chase a conference championship and ultimately a national championship. It's amazing they've been able to survive with so many new players, but also because of so many key injuries.
Miami's entire offseason was all tied up with players injured. Couldn't get everybody on the field for 2-a-days. And now Pata, a freshman who's so promising, that Baraka Atkins out with a right ankle injury tonight. Pata earned the starting spot, true freshman. Just down the street here, Miami Central High School. There's Atkins, who's the one out while Pata comes in. And now 2 defensive ends are out here tonight for Miami. That'll be Javon Nanton, who has a couple of sacks. He'll come in and play defensive end now, but the primary focus is the injury to Pata. And he looks to be in considerable pain. You guys talk about so often, look at the championship teams. It's coaching, it's players, it's recruiting, it's everything.
And it's luck. Staying healthy, catching the breaks.
It's the right whistle at the right time, the right flag, the right wind direction, the right weather. Staying healthy.
And that's one of the reasons why there's only been 2 teams in the last 30-some years repeat as national title holders, because you got to have your A game. And usually, as I said before, and I might be wrong, I said Ohio State used up 3 years luck last year.
Well, they sprinkled in some this year.
Yeah, but not that much. At least they've been winning the close games, but it hasn't been lucky like that 4th down play against Illinois, you know, and against Purdue, excuse me. But I think what happens is that football teams do get lucky, but they balance out eventually. It's somebody else's turn to get lucky this year.
And Potter walking off. It's a good sign to see. There's also been some great leadership from Larry Coker as well as the head coach of this Miami Hurricane program. 28-1. Now in his 30th game as the head coach at UM after replacing Butch Davis.
Looking at Miami's defense, guys, 3rd down situations, they lead the nation. They came in leading the nation, and tonight West Virginia's 0 for 5. It's now 13%, 8 of 58 for teams trying to advance on 3rd down against this defense.
And another 3rd and long. That's what most of them have been. 3rd and 12. Rashid Marshall loaded up and was covered. Now throws deep into coverage. It's almost intercepted by Merriweather. Every place he looked, there were green shirts multiplying.
And isn't it interesting? Kurt just talked about Brandon Merriweather as a 2nd teamer being well schooled, and they try to fake and come back, and he was in perfect position. That's a nice play by Merriweather.
First mistake I've seen Rashid Marshall make tonight, throwing the ball back into traffic, giving Merriweather time to get over.
This play is stopped at the line of scrimmage for a penalty. West Virginia is trying to do with its punt game what it does on offense. Sometimes go fast, sometimes go slow, do the rugby punt. Just try to keep Miami off balance to negate some of the speed.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
When you have to use smoke and mirrors, sometimes the smoke can't be seen in the mirror.
Well, remember one thing, old Roscoe Parrish touched it the last time. He made that exciting play. Remember you called him, Mike, you said he thought he was going twice?
I think he thought he was playing high school ball. He ran back and forth and back and forth. Almost. He's right. Twice he got loose.
Had a big run against Boston College. Kick is away. Hang time is nice. Parrish backpedaling at the 36. Made 2 men miss. Needs to pick up another block. Blocked down at the 48-yard line. Ike Johnson, reserve fullback, made the tackle. 50-yard punt, return of 12. Winslow and Miami come back on the field with an attitude after this. Nothing cool about this night in South Florida. There's humidity in the air and tension brought by West Virginia showing up with an attitude. A Miami team perhaps, and you can never measure this with great certainty, looking ahead to the Florida State game next week. Big favorite. Sees 2 stars go down with knee injuries, 1 on each side of the ball. Now being pushed by the Mountaineers. First downer for Tyrone Moss, a true freshman out of Pompano Beach. Unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard.
Well, the last drive, they were able to get Kellen Winslow more involved in the passing game and running the football out of the eye, kind of opened it up. But a lot of it had to do with Winslow picking up some blocks here. Of course, we're very critical of him and his emotions. He needs to control that. He's trying to spark his team. And you hit Kellen Winslow on the run, he's going to do some great things for you. And his battle with Adam Jones continues. That's something to watch here the rest of this game. Number 9, 5'10", 190 pounds, Adam Jones has held his own against Kellen Winslow.
Winslow only had 15 catches in the first 4 Miami games. Second and a long 10. Off the hands of Jason Gathers and incomplete. Almost a gimme INT for Alex Lake. Scott Jurko with the pressure. Kirk, you talked about number 9 in white, that Larry Coker's tight end has been going up against Adam Jones. He's a sophomore out of College Park, Georgia. Earned the starting spot tonight as Brian King moved from corner to safety. He grew up in the projects of the Atlanta area. Very tough upbringing. You saw his dad killed at age 9. He has grown up around very tough circumstances, and that has toughened and hardened this young man. He's not afraid to step back from a challenge. He has made mistakes getting in bar fights and things like that. But he does bring an attitude of strength on the field. He's working against Ryan Moore now. Moore breaks free and picks up the first down. Moore was covered initially, but broke back to the ball and able to pick up 11 yards and a first down.
Jarrett Payton did a good job of picking up the blitz from the outside and allowing Brock Berlin to step forward. That was a good block by Payton, and if he hadn't made that block, I'm sure he would have been sacked. Berlin would have.
You know, he had
interesting thing, Kirk. That experience with Payton blocking is probably the reason why that freshman Moss is not in there right now.
Yep, especially in pass protection situations. But he was blocking one of the best linebackers there in the Big East, and Grant Wiley.
1st and 10, Miami. 5 minutes left, 3rd quarter, and they only lead by 3. Berlin's throw caught by Parrish, who got double bang there. Jones said the ball came out as he and Grant Wiley combined on the hit. But it's a good 9-yard pickup. Let's go down to Doc Punch.
Guys, we call Adam Jones Pac-Man all night long, and you wonder why he got the name Pac-Man. I asked him today at the hotel. He said his mom gave him that name because when he was a baby, he would munch down on the nipple like the little Pac-Man character you see munching down on whatever he's going against. And he asked his mom, he said, did you have to continuously buy new bottles of nipple for me? She said, no. I was breastfeeding, but I did spend a lot of money, though, on ice packs.
Knox killed him with inside stuff.
That is really a little bit too much information. Just thought I'd mention it.
Cryophobia.
Let's keep that one to the doctor's office.
Right.
3rd reception of the year for the backup fullback out of Lakeland, Florida. Get some good stories here in college football Thursday.
Remember when Miami talked about the thing the defenses they're facing this year are doing differently is they're playing much more zone and basically giving the underneath stuff away. Allowing Brock Berlin, hey, take the 8-yard throw, take the 10-yard throw. And we're seeing it tonight. West Virginia trying to keep everything in front of them, making Miami show patience and driving the field.
Right on the drive, we go back to the freshman running back Moss, and he is tripped up. Who did that to Miami successfully? Ohio State?
Well, I think Ohio State had a package that was not only zone, but I think they challenged Miami with some blitzing and some man-to-man situations. I think they really surprised Miami with their athletic ability.
And when you do have some athletes and you have something that you've seen works against this offense, that blueprint, and it's what the NFL guys talk about all the time. Once it's out there, somebody sees how to slow you down.
Yep. You know, see, they played it. Ohio State did a lot of zone blitzing. Boston College has had some success. Yeah. They've done some zone blitzing.
2nd and 9 from the 26. There's a blitz. Berlin is flushed and is brought down. He was out of the tackle box as he was on the way down. The pressure came from Kevin McLeod, the redshirt freshman. The only question I have is, did that ball pass the line of scrimmage as he threw it? Otherwise, it would have been pass interference or intentional grounding.
Well, look at the defensive backs as we talk about all the great zone. Anytime you see a corner walked up like that with his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, that's man-to-man. And when you play man-to-man, chances are they're going to bring the blitz. That time, they were able to get through the pass protection and get to Berlin. Very close. I don't know, Mike. Could you tell there?
Well, 2-yard shot. Yeah. It's got to get to the X. That's why that X is there at the 26. 3rd and 9. Different look, more pressure. Here comes McLeod again, chasing Berlin again. His toss is incomplete. That's Joel Rodriguez. The center was down there.
That was because it was a screen. They tried to throw a screen against a blitz, which is a very good call, but Payton got knocked down and couldn't get into the screen area, and therefore that left Berlin out there with the ball with no screen. Now keep your eye on Jarrett Payton. This is a perfect call against a screen, but 34 gets knocked down as he's setting up the screen to the right of your picture. Watch, boom, he gets knocked down. That's it. There's your screen, man.
Plays over.
And it's all over.
Even if you throw it at this point, you have Chris Myers 15 yards downfield blocking.
And I saw the ball hit an arm, and I wasn't sure who it hit. Because if it would have hit the center Rodriguez, it would have been an eligible receiver downfield, the first touch for the lineman, but it was not. The 43-yard field goal coming up here will be a career-long attempt for John Petty. The play was stopped momentarily because the official called timeout for a cramp with Kevin McLeod and Grant Wiley both coming off the field. West Virginia's got to be careful, make sure they have enough players out there, and now they run on an 11. The reason they're giving this opportunity to the officials stopped the game for injury.
And a long field goal like this is sometimes blocked because he doesn't get it up high enough in the middle.
As you said, field goals and defense become huge late in the game like this.
From 43, Petty is good. John Petty continues to impress. As a redshirt freshman kicker out of Clearwater, he has made 3 field goals here tonight, is 8 of 9 on the season. And Miami leads by 6. Rich Rodriguez's offense has not been able to pull off the number of plays they did in the first quarter, and Miami's starting to win the time of possession and play advantage by a strong amount here. Well, on this October evening here in Miami, one of America's most recognized corporate images, the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, floating overhead, providing our aerial views. Goodyear Blimp, a familiar sight in the American sky since 1925. Thank you for the pictures here this evening. Great sport. A great sports weekend here in Miami with the Canes at home tonight and the Florida Marlins tomorrow and Saturday. The Major League Baseball National League Division Series, Game 3 on ESPN2 at 4 Eastern. Mark Redmond against Kirk Reeder tomorrow at Pro Player Stadium north of here. A.J. Harris kickoff return. Got to the 26-yard line. Roger McIntosh joining Brandon Merriweather on the tackle. You know, it's a terrific weekend all the way around. It continues with our college football action on Saturday. And in primetime, Casey Clausen and 4-0 Tennessee take on the 2-2 Auburn Tigers, who still have the hopes and dreams of doing the job in the Southeastern Conference. College football on ESPN, every game a must-win. And as you know, our primetime games on Saturday night, NFL on Sunday, available on ESPN HD, which is now available nationwide. First and 10 from the 27-yard line. And Steve Marshall's handoff to Wilson is nothing. So Vince Wilfork, who we haven't called much of tonight, and the Miami defense really stiffened against the West Virginia run game here in quarter number 3. Speaking of that Auburn, Tennessee, guys, our Thursday night mailbag, one of your neighbors, Herbie, Jeff in Columbus, wants to know, take on Auburn, Tennessee, guys. Do the Vols have a chance to run the table if they win?
That's a tough question after the way they played against South Carolina at home last week. I think whichever quarterback plays better in that game wins the game. Jason Campbell, Casey Clausen. Whoever executes better wins that game.
Second and 10. Wilson, right side, found a crease and got about 7 yards out of it.
Also, don't forget, Tennessee's got to play that good Georgia team. And I know Georgia beat LSU. We were at the game, but Georgia's a better football team than LSU. Yep. They just beat themselves. Tennessee, I do not think, can run the table.
What was your neighbor's name there from Columbus? Is it Jeff?
Yes, it is Jeff.
Jeff, whenever it says at Miami on your sketch,
yeah,
your chances of running the table are
no, I disagree with you. I think Tennessee could beat this Miami team I'm watching.
The way they look tonight.
But they have to come in here and win.
Tennessee, it'll be sold out. It'll be a different atmosphere.
I know.
Haven't picked up a third down yet tonight, but this is 3rd and 3. Most of the third down attempts have been 3rd and long. Marshall will throw. Try to get a lot. It's out of bounds for Chris Henry. Thomas Carroll came off the end. It wouldn't let Marshall settle his feet to throw. After starting 4 of 5 tonight, the West Virginia quarterback's 2 of his last 8.
Well, I'll say this about that Tennessee game so you don't think I forgot. If they don't have Frank Gore, right, and they don't have the same running attack I got now, I'm telling you, I'd like Tennessee's chances here, South Beach, or Ethiopia.
Well, 53 yards rushing, no matter who they play, is going to be a challenge for them. They've got to be able to find a balance.
Quick job getting rid of it. Great kick to the sideline. Roscoe Parrish from the 19. Up the sideline, down to the 29. So after the rugby punts and a lot of other silly stuff, it's been some good kicking from Todd James. 46 yards on that one. Return of 11. Brock Berlin comes back out at quarterback. You know, Brock Berlin's story has been told so often, but always worth repeating. At the University of Florida, started in the bowl game for Florida, and then transfers away from the Gators, sits here on the scout team last year, has the great comeback in the second half against Florida here, and beat his hometown team, Louisiana Tech and Shreveport, to start a Miami career where you just expected to walk in and do it. And we gain an appreciation for how great Ken Dorsey was doing it for 4 years. here in the Orange Bowl. Berlin to throw. Complete. Up to the 35. Jarrett Payton the catch. He picked up 5.
I think the toughest thing that Brock Berlin has had to adjust to coming from Gainesville is when he played for Steve Spurrier. Coach Spurrier designs a scheme where he just basically tells the quarterback, you throw it to this spot. I've already figured it out. He'll be open. Take care of business. Now you come to Miami, and it's a completely different offense. Now you have 4 and 5 receivers running out on every pattern, but it's from the I formation in many cases, and it's a defense, an offense where you have to be able to read the defense and use your eyes. Whereas at Florida, you relied on Steve Spurrier to do so much of that.
Getting 5, good opportunity for Payton across 40 to the 47-yard line, and he picks up the first down. What a story this will develop as the season goes on, depending on how hurt Frank Gore is, if Jarrett Payton, the son of Walter Payton, is asked to carry the load for Miami.
You got to give Carlos Joseph, number 76, and Chris Meyer, number 77, the right offensive guard and tackle. Boy, they just held their blocks hard, Kirk. They stayed with the men. Boom, nice hole there. That was good blocking on the right side by Myers and Joseph.
Opening those holes up, and Mike, it's a really interesting point, depending on how serious Frank Gore's injury is, to see if Jarrett Payton is going to be asked to become the feature back. The only reason I bring that up is he's fought like crazy for 4 years. He deserves an opportunity, but you have a true freshman behind him in Tyrone Moss, and Jason Gathers, in my opinion, by the time this team heads north to Tallahassee, will once again move from wide receiver to tailback to give them more depth at that position.
4 fingers up. Off we go to quarter 4, and guess what? We have got a game. Miami leads, but only by 6. Can they survive in the Orange Bowl? We'll be back to show it to you. Off we go to the 4th quarter on College Football Thursday. Glad you're with us with Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, and Dr. Jerry Punch. Mike Tirico, West Virginia, as much as a 4-touchdown underdog in this game, grabbed the early lead, took the tone to a Miami team perhaps looking ahead to Florida State. Miami's lost Most Sykes, their safety, Frank Gore, their running back, to knee injuries. If they've wrestled control back in the 3rd, start the 4th with a lead. Brock Berlin to Kellen Winslow. Oh, he ran over his man to get to the 36. He knocked Scott Jerko through the Orange Bowl turf. 14 yards.
I don't think anybody's ever going to question what kind of football player Kellen Winslow is. He's gotten so physical this year. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. Jerko, just hold on, buddy.
Oh. And you know one thing I liked about it? He just turned around and walked back like I do that all the time. That's the way to do it, Winslow.
He's
okay. You don't have to talk to anybody.
Oh, my God. He's talking now.
Oh, my God. Jerko's okay. He's back. He's trying to get in there and make a play on Payton, who goes to the other side and gets to the 33-yard line. And a flag is down as West Virginia got involved after the play.
Ben Lynch, the nose guard, pushing Quattrin Hill.
The play was over. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's almost like sticking up for your team, and we're not going to take this, and we're going to show you that we can hang with you, but you've got to do it with intelligence. Glad to see Scott Jerko's okay. He's a kid who walked on at West Virginia and earned his place with hard-nosed play. And boy, did he get pounded there.
If you're going to, I appreciate the effort. If you're going to come after 81 Green, you got to come lucky. You might want to come lucky.
Also, I liked one thing about Rich Rodriguez that time. That guy, Ben Lynch, made a stupid play. Yep. He calls him over there and talks to him. I like that. Bring him out of the game and talk to him when he did wrong.
Ryan Moore and Sonaris Moss, the brother of Santana Moss, in the lineup. Here's Payton left side across the 15 and 2. The 14-yard line, a pickup of about 5. Well, Kirk, you were mentioning it earlier, the road that Jarrett Payton has had to this senior season, being the backup and being in position behind Frank Gore. Look, his father, Walter, passed away, as we had documented earlier, as everybody knows, after the liver disease led to cancer. Ankle sprain 2000, he redshirted, stepped on coral, his foot was infected, ineffective in 2001. In 2002, a car accident, thrown from a car, lucky to walk away with just back injuries and limited to 50 carries in mostly garbage time. Feature roll tonight as Payton is shoved out of bounds after a gain of about a yard. You know, Jarrett Payton, of course, hanging around with his dad around the Chicago Bears days. While on the other side, the best running back for West Virginia, Quincy Wilson, his dad, Otis Wilson, teammate of Walter Payton on those Super Bowl teams. And Quincy Wilson, Otis's son, and Jarrett Payton were the two good football players, the same age, and they hung out all the time. And I talked to Quincy. I said, "You talked to Jarrett?" He said, "Every weekend, man, except for this. I didn't talk to him all week. I'll see him after the game, give him a big hug." He has such respect for what Jarrett's had to go through here and the course he's had to follow to stay in position. Never sulk. Tonight, stepping into a big role. Picks up the block for Berlin, whose throw is nearly intercepted by Adam Jones. Ooh.
Either Winslow ran the wrong route, old Brock Berlin didn't know where to throw the ball because he threw the ball to a spot and Kellen Winslow went deep in the corner and he threw the ball short.
And did you see Winslow just kind of point to himself a little bit there?
Yeah, you could see both Winslow looking at himself and also Brock Berlin kind of standing after he threw it, looking at Kellen Winslow saying, uh-oh, got to get on the same page.
John Petty's made all 3 of his field goals tonight. This a 31-yarder to make it a 2-score game. And strong freshman kicker here for Miami. The old coach called it. He said third quarter, looked at us and said, dude, defensive field goal game. Miami 3 field goals here in the second half.
Thank you.
You know what? You're all right. Look, I like hanging out with the Sunshine Scooter. 19-10, Canes by 9. Glad you've joined us on College Football Thursday. Another enjoyable football night in the Orange Bowl. How many great nights is this old building? I mean, the place is in need of a severe upgrade, but it is Hurricanes football. I'm so glad to hear Paul D, the athletic director, and the folks continue to work so that the right things are done between the city and the university, whatever needs to be done, to make sure Miami football is played here.
It's great.
It doesn't belong north up in Pro Play.
No way.
There's a special attitude and feel that is so unique about this place, which has hosted 5 Super Bowls and a dozen college championship deciding games. Kickoff return here for Jason Colston across the 30 and out to the 35-yard line. 34 on the return for Colston. Let's go visit with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, take a look at Quincy Wilson's waist now. Right in front of his waist there, you see that black band that he's wearing? That is a wristband or a wrist coach, and he was sent to him by his high school coach, Brad Cassell, out of Winterville, Ohio. That band was worn last Friday night by a young man, Ricky Bell, who was a quarterback and defensive back. Bell was injured, suffered a fracture in the neck and some paralysis last Friday night. He is wearing that band to tell Ricky to get well soon. The entire Mountaineer team thinking about a young man down in Winterville, Ohio.
Ohio right on the West Virginia border. So many ties to the state. Thanks, Doc. Little reverse here in the hands of Travis Garvin, who is upended at the 39, a pickup of 4. Sean Taylor there on the hit. You know Garvin's going to touch it if you're a Miami player. They're well schooled. Garvin's run 7 reverses this season, 4 of them in one game, and in his career, 14 carries.
This game right now has a feel that it's over. You know, you're up 9 points, 12.5 minutes to go, but Rasheed Marshall has the ability to score and score in a hurry. In fact, this offense is built for these kind of situations when you need to come back and put points on the board.
4 is a good first down pickup. 2nd and 6. Miami brings the backers. Marshall up top into double coverage. Is that caught? Spectacular grab by Chris Henry at the 23. 38 yards on the play.
6'4", Kirk, 200 pounds. Watch him get up. The pass was perfect. You just said this offense was built for it. Watch this play.
He goes to the inside, beats Kelly Jennings. Merriweather's got to get back. They had a cover 2 safety look. He's got to be able to get back. But that time, Chris Henry, using his size, 6'4.5", goes up and makes the catch. But number 19, the backup, Brandon Merriweather, has to get back in order to prevent that big play.
Again, the starter, Maurice Sykes, out with a knee injury from the 23. Wilson, 4 to the 19-yard line. Darryl McClover and Javon Nanton in on the tackle. Remember Brian Pata, the backup defensive end who was starting because of an injury tonight. He went out with an ankle injury earlier. So Nanton, essentially the third-string defensive end, is in for the Canes.
Remember in the pregame show I mentioned about if they can get them into the fourth quarter, the pressure goes on number 2 Miami. Maybe, you never know.
Walk-on John Pennington is in the game in the slot. It's a run with Wilson, a quick hitter, and it just didn't find that seam in there. No gain. We're going to have third down coming up. A field goal is very important because it's a 9-point game. Reminder that SportsCenter comes up next. Highlights and reaction, game 2 as the Athletics took on the Red Sox in Oakland. Kobe Bryant in the Lakers training camp, and we'll talk about Nebraska as well coming up on SportsCenter.
West Virginia has not converted a third down tonight.
Their 8th try. Play clock, as you see, down at 9, so time to adjust it for Marshall. Here comes the pressure. Marshall releases, almost intercepted by Merriweather. Second time he's had it in his hands and can't pull it away. A field goal from here is 36 yards and would make it a 6-point game.
That was a wonderful call by Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator. It's the first time they brought a safety on a blitz, and he almost got to Marshall, but he caused him to throw the ball fast.
Nice call, you're right, by Randy Shannon, defensive coordinator, but also a good feel by Brandon Merriweather, the safety. He just got beat deep. That time he came back, read the eyes of the quarterback, and almost put himself in a position for a long interception return.
Huge field goal. He's missed 3 this season, but he has been strong tonight. Big legs, struggled early, but Brad Cooper has made 2 field goals. And West Virginia, it's a 1-possession game, a 1-score game, as we approach 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. Number 2 is still on the ropes. We've played the last 29 minutes and 27 seconds without a touchdown. But it's been a very good field goal kicking night on both sides. 6 for 6 here kicking. Mountaineers within 6. Darnell Jenkins has it at the 1. That near sideline. West Virginia's special teams have done a good coverage job. James Woodruff made the tackle. Brock Berlin and the Canes will take over from the 27.
One stat, Mike, you and Kirk. West Virginia is only one of 2 teams to rally after trailing in the fourth quarter against Miami in the last 18 years. So all those people who think about watching baseball, forget about it. Keep watching this game. You never know.
Mountaineers did that in 1997. Then in 1999, the game that was moved because of the hurricane up to Raleigh, East Carolina, came back to beat Miami.
Win or lose, West Virginia has shown tremendous competitive attitude tonight.
Peyton Malone back. Beard in motion. This play is whistled dead.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
We talked a lot in the last drive about Jared Payton and all the adversity he has faced and how he's been able to get through it. I think one thing next week you'll see Jason Gathers moved into the rotation of tailback, but you know, Jared Payton, forget not only the adversity, the depth, the players that he's been behind.
Yeah.
Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Frank Gore. You're talking about first-round picks, great players in the NFL. He's a great back, but besides the adversity, he's had a lot of personnel to try to fight through to get up to the top of the ladder.
Peyton gets 3 out to the 25-yard line. You know, remember what Larry Coker said, which stuck with me? When he came for his recruiting visit, Walter Payton, who was ill, but Larry didn't know it at the time, didn't come with Walter. His mom did. Yeah. And it was kind of that symbol and signal to everyone that Jared Payton was going to have to earn his name on his own and not be Walter's son as he went through this process. And he's really handled the Payton name admirably in a big microscope under the most difficult and heartbreaking circumstances. 2nd and 12. Here he is on the screen, and Adam Jones has been everywhere tonight. Loss of 3. 3rd and 15 coming up.
I've been really impressed. I think we all have been really impressed with Adam Jones and his attitude. This time he read the screen before anybody else. Before the offensive lineman had a chance to get out in front of the running back as he made the catch, Jones was reading the screen and came up right in front of the offensive line to make the big play.
It's interesting here. It's 3rd down and 14. This is a perfect spot for a turnover. Because if a quarterback tries to push the ball into a spot where it isn't, well then, then you got yourself a real problem.
And Miami forced to take a timeout. First timeout taken this half. 3rd and long coming up for Miami right after this. Another on-time arrival. Have a chair ready for Coach Corso tomorrow morning. 6:30, ready to depart. We're going to send you to Bristol and Sports Center as soon as we're done. Recap of both American League playoff games. Kobe, a camp no-show out in Hawaii. And the guys will break down college football, talking Nebraska, team we saw last college football Thursday. Sports Center comes up as soon as we are done. There's a lot still to do. Number 2, Miami, 3rd and long, leading by 6. Virginia brings pressure. Berlin throws. It is nearly intercepted.
I say nothing.
Mike Lorillo
I say nothing.
Went up to get it. And during the break, that's exactly what you were talking about.
Thank you, sweetheart. That's exactly my heart. Well, that's a perfect position for a quarterback. Try to make a big play on his own and lose the game.
I don't know about trying to make a big play. If he makes the throw,
sweetheart,
I'm just saying, the guy had him beat by 5 yards.
I know that, but
you want to run the ball on 3rd down?
No, yeah, and punt it.
Okay,
but not throw the ball in the other team's hands.
Don't attack on offense. You want to just be conservative and run the ball and punt.
19-3. I'm not going to throw the ball into the free safety man's hands.
37-yard punt by Monroe. Here's Adam Jones from the 40, trying to make men miss. Brought down at the 46 by Antrell Roll. 8.5 to go, and Leah, Miami defense that was embarrassed in the first quarter has really shown up here in the second half.
Well, Randy Shannon right there, the defensive coordinator. We're always talking about identifying minority candidates for head coaching jobs in college. There is one gentleman who is intelligent, on and off the field. He's a quality human being. He won the Frank Broyles Award in 2001 as the best the best assistant coach in the nation. Yep. That guy deserves to be and get a shot as a head football coach in college soon.
He will. Minority or not, he is just a great candidate for somebody out there.
47-year-old Randy Shannon, his defense now, trying to keep Miami's title dreams high. Rasheed Marshall's on the run across midfield, and he takes the best field position of the night for the Mountaineers to start a drive, and adds to it with a 10-yard first down run.
Just the running ability of Rasheed Marshall.
West Virginia trying to give a goodbye kiss to Miami as a Big East dancing partner. Miami's won 25 in a row in the conference, 36 regular season games in a row, and 24 in a row here in the OB. Those the streaks on the line in the last half of the fourth quarter. 1st and 10, Quincy Wilson. Able to get the corner on DJ Williams, gain of about 2 yards. I mentioned it at the very top, if you weren't with us, when Mel Kiper starts to look at who's going to be drafted in the NFL draft next year, he looks at only the seniors because it's unfair and unethical to look at junior college or juniors who may be coming out of college. On Mel's board, number 2, seniors, right there, number 17. Number 1, guy you're going to see this weekend, Roy Williams, the Texas wide receiver.
Roy Williams has been number 1, I think, on Mel's board for 4 years. He's finally gone at it after this year.
2nd and 8, Orange Bowl starting to liven up a little bit, trying to support the Miami defense. But West Virginia's going to the open end, which will help them in this quarter if they get close. Marshall pressure, first sack of the night by Orrin Harris.
Orrin Harris, number 92, from Newark, Delaware, did the swim technique, Kirk. And Mike, what he does is he hits the guy and he does like a swim, which he moves around and pulls the guy. Watch him. Keep your eye on right there on number 92. See him hit him, and then he uses what they call a swim technique, which is to get inside and go after the quarter. That's a major league sack right there, boy.
Building comes alive on 3rd and 15. West Virginia hasn't picked up a 3rd down yet. 4 in the pattern. Now the releasing 5th. Here's the back Wilson to the 42. We'll have to punt it away. Jonathan Vilma made the tackle. We'll be inside 6 minutes.
I know we like to first guess in these situations. He already called for the punt, and with the way their defense is playing right now, pin Miami back there and let the defense come out and try to get the football back, maybe get a turnover like you were talking about.
Well, as I mentioned, the fact is, with the score 19-13 in the 4th quarter, the pressure's on number 2 Miami, not on West Virginia.
Good at pinning the opponent inside the 20 this year. It bounces. Oh, it missed by a half yard. That was a terrific kick.
Great kick.
Todd James, good kicker. 42 the punt, 22 the net.
Wow. Been some great kicks tonight.
Special teams night. I like that. Huh?
Love it.
College Game Day built by the Home Depot. Live from Austin, Texas at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific. Chris Lee and the coach. Among the topics, Texas and that always hovering topic of getting the big game and winning the big one with Mac Brown. It's another pressure game against Kansas State. They're all big games when you're at Texas. So that's part of the equation as well. But that plus, hey, if you need to know what's going on before you settle in Saturday in your TV room to watch the games, check in with the boys. 10:30 a.m. Eastern, live from Austin. From the 20, Berlin rolls and throws. Caught by Winslow. First down at the 31. He was smacked by Brian Pink.
See, I guess you and I differ here. I just think that it's real important for them not to pull their horns in right now and get too conservative and just run 3 times and then punt the ball. I understand your philosophy. I just think they need to keep trying to attack.
I need to bring up a point. It was 3rd down and 13.
Yeah.
That's the time I didn't want to throw the football, because that's the time the quarterback does try to do something stupid and turns the ball over. Not on 1st 10. Good call there. Not on 3rd and 13. If I get another 3rd and 13, I'm going to run it and then punt it. That's what I do.
I'm throwing.
Okay, that's good.
1st and 10 from the 30. With Quad Hill, the fullback, leading. Here's Payton. Staying bounds. He does. Taken down by Brian King and Lance Frazier. Pickup of 3. Next snap should take us inside 5 minutes. Mountaineers full complement of timeouts remaining.
And one of the things also I used to try to coach, when you get inside 5 minutes, it's called tick, 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 tick. Don't do anything to stop that clock, because right now you're playing against the clock, not West Virginia. So don't throw a stupid pass where it's incomplete. Make sure you tick, 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 tick.
Milk the clock here. If you're the quarterback, you take it down. You shouldn't snap it until there's 1 or 2 seconds left on the play clock.
We had a simple thing. We called it tick, 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 tick. That's simple, isn't it?
That's easy.
They leave 4 on the play clock as Payton goes forward. Until about the 39. We're going to have 3rd and a yard and a half coming up here. The penalty marker come in there. The play is blown dead and the clock is stopped. There's the flag. It was under the pile of players. Quadrin Hill coming off. Lost his helmet. And a holding penalty on Miami. This will be the 6th penalty on Miami, which is better than the average. They've been averaging about 11 a game, which is 2nd in the nation.
Mike.
Washington State 11.5. Michigan State right behind at 10.5.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
Mike, listen how quiet it is in here. They're scared. They're scared.
They're nervous.
Mike, all of those streaks are on the line.
It's because the girls are done flashing. That's why it's quiet now.
Let's keep in mind on football. It's the biggest game in the history of this school.
I'm just saying, right below us.
And they are shocked in this place.
They are.
Especially everybody who gained 24 points. They are really shocked.
I'm calling the chief. That's it. I've had it.
What are you saying? Right below us.
2nd and 15 coming up.
The Orange Bowl.
West Virginia's got to think about using its timeout if you get to a 3rd and long situation here. Save some time on the clock. Here's Berlin. Out of the pocket. Check down to Payton. Will he get pushed out of bounds? Out of bounds at the 36. 8-yard line. He's going to be 3 shy of the first down, but the clock did stop a pickup of a dozen, and he knows it.
Yeah, you can see him pointing to himself. He you know what? It's been a long time since he's had to play this many snaps, and he looks tired when he's coming on and off the field. That's something he's going to have to try to adjust to now if Frank Gore if his injury is serious. Jared Payton playing a lot of football tonight. This humidity, that is a tough thing to do.
Again, if you're just tuning in, Jared Payton is in because Frank Gore hurt his knee, and Mo Sykes, the starting safety, hurt his knee from Miami, both in the first half. MRIs tomorrow to determine the severity of the injury. Gigantic play here, 3rd and 3. West Virginia blitzes. The throw is complete to the first down to the 45 with Kevin Beard. The senior who's also coming back from a torn-up knee.
3rd down and short this time. West Virginia comes with an all-out blitz, probably expecting a run. And Rod Trzynski rolled the dice a little bit. Quick 3-step drop to the quick game, and he gets the ball out to Kevin Beard. And boy, West Virginia lucky that they were able to come back because there was only one defender out there to make that play.
Would you throw any more passes?
Well, not now, but there was 9 minutes left.
I just asked a question.
Not now.
Thank you. It's 2 hands on the football.
2 hands.
Tick, 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 tick. Stay in bounds.
Oh, Big Ten Woody and Bo stuff, huh?
Yep. 2 hands on the ball.
The ball came out. It did come out. As Payton carried. And West Virginia has it. I think Adam Jones came away with it. On the 22nd carry, a career high for Payton. He had 20 carries against Rutgers 4 years ago when he was a freshman. The ball came free, and the Mountaineers have it at the Miami 48. And buckle up. Here we go.
That's why I said tick, 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 2 hands on the football. You don't run the ball with 1 hand on the football when you're trying to tick, tick, tick.
Real quick. You don't want to throw. You don't want to run. You don't want to run.
2 hands on the football.
Grant Wiley forced the fumble. 6th forced fumble this year. Leads the Big East, tied for the lead in the nation. Quincy Wilson forward to the 45, pickup of 3. Inside of 3.5 to go. Where should West Virginia be going offensively here, guys, as they try to stun number 2 Miami?
Well, I wouldn't run it anymore because when you're running, look at the clock. Your clock is dying.
I still think with this team, because of the way they can strike quickly, you're okay in being able to run the football, but you got to put the game in the hands of the quarterback, Rasheed Marshall, running and throwing and doing different things. Miami plays a lot of man under. Great opportunity with crossing routes and trying to get Marshall out some freedom to throw the football.
He looked to the sideline, adjusted the play to option. He keeps up the middle to the 35 and still going. Down to the 30-yard line. Antrell Roll made the tackle. They look to the sideline to adjust the play, and 15 yards later, they're in business.
Well, they went with a freeze call early to find out what kind of coverage. Man coverage, what's a great call? An option. The option coming right down the line and putting a little bit of a fake on Nanton, number 57, and cutting right underneath. He looked very explosive for a quarterback who's been playing 4 quarters.
West Virginia looking for its biggest win in terms of beating a ranked opponent ever. 1st and 10, 2.5 to go. Marshall pulls it out, eludes the rush, loads up, takes off, and gets out of bounds. May have lost a yard, 2nd down ahead. West Virginia in 1993, part of a perfect season, beat number 4 Miami 17-14. Here they're playing number 2 Miami in the Orange Bowl with all Miami streaks on the line. 36 months and 36 regular season games since the Canes last lost a scheduled contest. After a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Pressure coming. Wide open is Harris. He couldn't get it with the timing. K.J. Harris hit a big play on a wheel route earlier tonight. He would have taken it deep into the red zone if the quarterback just would have given you a little more air.
That was a great call by Rich Rodriguez that time. He went back to the plate. He scored a touchdown. What a great call.
But this time, a little bit of different window dressing. He has two backs from the shotgun. He slides them both off to the left. And he just threw it a little bit early to Harris, or he had it again right down that same sideline. Confusion. Miami is confused on defense.
SportsCenter coming up. You're in 4-down territory. You don't need to run a 15-yard play here.
Correct.
3rd and 13. You know you're going to go for it on 4th down. Screen, Wilson. Good luck. Oh, he got a great play. Down the sideline, 1st down and more. He's still going. Touchdown. An unbelievable run. They're an extra point from the lead. The son of Chicago Bears linebacker Otis Wilson has shocked everyone. Quincy Wilson, 33-yard touchdown. After Jarrett Payton's fumble. Two guys who grew up together. Now a huge extra point. Brad Cooper's missed 2 of them. This to put West Virginia on top. The West Virginia Mountaineers in the Orange Bowl, a 4-touchdown underdog, lead Miami 20-19. Quincy Wilson, what second effort, what determination. He's run for nearly 100 yards tonight. He beat Vince Wilfork, one of the best D tackles in the country, one of the best safeties in Sean Taylor, got down the sideline, delivered the blow to Merriweather, smelled the end zone, and now the Mountaineers are 2 minutes away from one of the biggest wins in the history of West Virginia football. The West Virginia Mountaineers lost to Maryland last game, 34-7. They had no business being in this game tonight. They're 2 minutes away from one of the biggest wins in Mountaineer history and stopping Miami's 36-game regular season win streak, 25-game Big East win streak, and 24 in a row in the Orange Bowl. And it falls on Brock Berlin and Winslow and all the other guys because Quincy Wilson and company came to play here tonight. Short kickoff to try to negate a return, but it will give him better field position. Darnell Jenkins runs up, finds a crease, gets to the 37. A marker is down. Check the flag. The huge penalty here. They call the hold from the spot, so Miami will probably start somewhere inside its own 30.
Holding during the return. 10-yard penalty from the end of the play. 1st down.
The end of the play and the spot were the same. They'll be at the 28. Guys, the touchdown.
This is a heck of an effort, an individual effort initially by Quincy Wilson. It's a screen setup. Watch him avoid big Vince Wilfork. Outruns Thomas Carroll. Gets some good blocks. Look at that block right there by Dan Moses, number 76, and then goes right over top of the young safety, Brandon Merriweather. Unbelievable determination there by Quincy Wilson.
Number 19, Merriweather's in there at 175 because Mo Sykes, number 36, is hurt at 205 pounds. Maybe if old Mo was there, he would have knocked him down.
Miami has 2 timeouts. They need about 40 yards for a 50-yard attempt. John Petty, their kicker, has that kind of length. He hit a 57-yarder in high school. But first, it's on Brock Berlin, the quarterback. He is pressured by Riley, who was held. So this play will come back. Nice run by Berlin, but holding back at the spot. Miami's going to be back inside its own 20. And remember, the time ran off the clock as well.
Remember, we talked about it to Larry Coker, and he said what's getting us killed is mistakes and penalties. Well, here it comes.
Well, costly penalties at very important times. That time, Jared Payton, fatigue is set in at this point for him. He's made some silly mistakes here these last couple series. That time, hooking Grant Wiley for a hold. It's been the thing that's held them back themselves.
Yep, every time.
Here you see Miami's penalty numbers. Not the volume, but significant time penalties here tonight.
Guys, let's not forget, a minute 46, Brock Berlin. This is where he has shown that he is very comfortable in sitting back in the pocket in the shotgun, working the 2 minute. All they need is to get into field goal range with 2 timeouts. Plenty of time.
Adam Lenort, one of the starting linebackers, getting fluid, so West Virginia doesn't have its best personnel on the field. Berlin is pressured. Here's the screen with Payton. Cut down at the 20. Adam Jones has been everywhere tonight. Gain of 3, the clock runs. Miami has 2 timeouts and $1:30 to go, and their pace has to be much more urgent than it is here.
That's on the quarterback. He's got to get them going. He's got to pick up the pace, get people lined up, and get the play called.
West Virginia, just a 3-man rush. That's what they normally play, a 3-3-5. Berlin looking. It's Payton again, check down, only to the 23. They need a timeout. They need a timeout, and they have it with 1:10 to go. Frustration here. I couldn't see downfield. Didn't look like it was much open. But we've got a $1:10 left, and Miami's facing 3rd down and about 14 yards.
One thing I learned a long time ago is it's very easy to sit up here and to find open receivers and to say, geez, why can't he throw it here? Like, he had open people downfield. I think right now he's in a situation where he's trying to get the ball thrown. I think he's feeling a little bit of jitters back in that pocket because these plays are taking a little bit of time to develop.
Miami lost this football game in the practice field this week, getting ready for Florida State, thinking about Florida State. We said at the beginning of the game, and I mentioned to you, they don't look like Miami, and I said before in the opening, they bring their B game tonight offensively, and they could lose this football game. They brought their B game.
But the coaches tried. They had a sense of it. They tried to get Miami ready.
Yeah, but you know where they don't get them ready? When they leave the practice field. When they go to the dorms and they see their girlfriends and they talking about Florida State and this and that. They were not ready to play tonight.
But, you know, of all the teams out there, all the teams the last 2 or 3 years who've been able to avoid those kind of games in most cases, it's been Larry Coker's Miami Hurricanes.
You know why? One reason. In my opinion, Ken Dorsey.
Yep. But if you talk to players, they'll tell you not just Ken Dorsey, but the legacy of senior classes handed down from one group to the next to the next. Not just the coaches and an individual like Ken Dorsey, but the group of players, not letting the underclassmen take it.
I was here against the Florida State team. He took it to the length of the field and beat Florida State. Remember that?
Remember that, guys. 4-down territory. 4-down territory, so you don't need all 13 here. You're going to be going for it on 4th down. Time a huge factor.
West Virginia's bailing. They should have people open.
Payton, short, couldn't get to it. And now it's 4th down. It's 4th and 13, and the Mountaineer sideline is sensitive. And it's Christmas Eve on the Mountaineer sideline. They see Santa coming down the chimney, and they are one play away from as big a present as Rich Rodriguez and the state of West Virginia's ever had.
And he's not going to bring coal. Santa Claus not bringing coal to West Virginia.
If West Virginia continues to play this defense with their corners soft, Miami could easily run a 15-yard just outcut, just a simple outcut to the top of the screen and pick up the 1st down.
36 regular season wins, 25 in a row in the Big East, 24 in a row in the Orange Bowl. They've got to pick up 4th and 13. Berlin throws, caught by the All-American Winslow at the 43. 1 minute left. They're still alive. They need about 20 yards to get the field goal range.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable effort by Kellen Winslow to go up, turn his body, and to lean across for the 1st down.
From the 43, 1 timeout remaining. Rushing 3, 8 cover for the Mountaineers. Payton out of the backfield to the 41-yard line. 1st down, clock stops to move the chains. From here, it's a 58-yard field goal. They need about 10 more.
Underneath route this time, he hits Jared Payton in stride, allowing Payton to get upfield and not only pick up a 1st down, but pick up valuable yardage. Every yard at this point is key to get into field goal range.
But the key that time was very good offensive line protection. Twice they've given him time.
1st and 10. Berlin looking for Ryan Moore. It's caught. They'll mark him at the 33. The clock stays moving. Miami's going to use its final timeout here with 25 seconds to go. From here, the field goal's about 50 yards.
And from here, the rules change. The rules change when you have no timeouts and you're trying to get into field goal range.
There's one thing also as a coaching point with 25 seconds to go in a ball game. You sometimes kick it on third down, so if there's a bad snap, you can try to get the ball off, but you don't usually. It's a tough situation, but I would definitely throw the ball to 81 somewhere.
He's at a 49-yard field goal right now with the ball in the 32. Still needs probably, what do you think, another 7 to 10 yards to get comfortable.
Comfortable. John Petty out of high school. I mentioned he kicked a 57-yarder. One of the things he did well was kick pressure kicks. His high school coach described him as a great pressure kicker. He kicked a game-time 57-yarder to send the game into overtime after making a 51-yarder earlier in the game. He has the leg, but the pressure involved here is far greater than Clearwater playing countryside in high school.
Well, the strategy here, obviously, if you're going to win the football game, is try, if you can, to get the ball to your best players. And obviously, their best player is number 81. Or don't be afraid to get the ball to that old Roscoe Parrish and let him do it. Boom.
Here, it's the most important thing, if they're going to throw here on 2nd and 1, is you cannot take a sack. You cannot take a sack. And that's probably the last thing they told Brock Berlin. Without a timeout.
2nd and 1 for Berlin. They will throw it. Waiting for somebody to clear. He comes back to Kevin Beard, who's out of bounds at the 22-yard line. From here, the field goal is 39. It's 1st down. And everybody's getting on the same page now.
You still have a chance to run the football to get it into the middle of the field and then fire it into the ground. There's still enough time to do that.
Also, one time I lost a football game once like this when I completed a pass. The guy got hit and dropped the ball and they recovered. Make sure the guy that catches the football goes right down. Don't try to make the touchdown, sweetheart. Right. Just fall down to kick the field goal by spiking it. Good point on the spike.
Fire into the ground.
Ryan Moore and Kevin Beard, top of the screen. Bottom of the screen, Roscoe Parrish. Winslow, the tight end, is on that side. They're out of the gun. Peyton next to Berlin. West Virginia brings heat. Berlin's throw is incomplete. Penalty marker for pass interference. It will bring it a lot closer. Rasheed Marshall can't bear to watch. He's looking the other way. The West Virginia quarterback who's been booed at home and led an unbelievable effort here tonight.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. 1st down.
I want to bring up a very important point.
They're going to kick now from the 6-yard line.
You know why? Because Brock Berlin threw an interception in the right-hand corner just before halftime. Yep. Remember? I'd kick it now because there's 14 seconds to go. But also a very good point here. Yeah, they're going to freeze the kicker. I'm just going to say.
Rich Rodriguez will take timeout. John Petty will have a chance to think about his 5th field goal attempt of the night. One that would survive Miami ahead. Now let's go back to some big plays on this drive.
The catch by Kellen Winslow, I think Hurricane fans will go back and remember that play for a long time. If they make this field goal, that catch saved Miami Hurricanes' undefeated season up to this point if they hit the field goal. Unbelievable night for Kellen Winslow and a catch to put that exclamation point behind that performance.
A breakout night. He's had only 15 catches in his first 4 games this year. And as I told you, he told me how frustrated he was that this season wasn't getting off to the start he had hoped for.
One more point that maybe people forgot. That was 4th down.
Yes, I know. No, it was 4th and 13.
It wasn't like, yo.
We're going to have an even further delay as someone came onto the field. I don't know if it was a Miami fan, but the problem is it freezes Miami's players even more. Now somebody else has come on the field. Another Miami fan out of the student section as well. And the Miami police all over the Orange Bowl trying to quell that situation. But if they're Miami fans, they're idiots for running on the field. They're complete morons for trying to hurt their team because now the kicker's got to think about it even longer.
They're also
who knows who he's rooting for, but
wrong town to run onto the field in.
So they take care of that situation, and now back to the focus at hand. And John Petty, a redshirt freshman, who earned the job this offseason and in summer with his strong leg and consistent kicking.
Please mention number 11, Matt Carter, the holder.
Just did, because he's important here.
Very, and the center,
Chris Harvey.
Carter.
Last time the Canes had a gut-wrenching field goal attempt, Todd Severs put it right through the middle to send the national championship into overtime.
Right. In the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Lee, you mentioned Harvey, the snapper.
Yeah.
He's been the snapper since 2000. Now West Virginia's going to, hey, you can't take him back to Morgantown with you, so he'll take another timeout. All right, let's step out. I think we might get another timeout called by Rodriguez before all is said and done. Pressure field goal when we come back. Back here in the Orange Bowl. Remember, it is first down. So if there's a bad snap, just think back to the San Francisco 49ers, New York Giants playoff game. A bad snap, get rid of it.
Right.
Throw it away, incomplete pass, live to kick another day. For his 5th field goal of the night, which would set a Miami record, Rich Rodriguez will give him one more chance to think about history of an individual and a team type here. Uses all 3 timeouts. And you know, guys, we were talking during the break. I would not have used all these timeouts. Just think back to the Monday night game we saw with the Giants and Dallas Cowboys, where the ball went out of bounds. They were able on the kickoff to advance it, go down with one quick play, and kick the field goal to send that game to overtime. I would have saved my timeouts, at least one of them, with 14 left.
I would have done exactly what he's doing. I'm not second-guessing him or first-guessing him. But now, the whole thing is if he misses the field goal, you win the game. But that's what I go on, just pressure that guy.
He's a young kicker, and he's never been in this position. See what he can do. I kind of see what you're saying. 14 seconds with this offense. Never know. You get a big return. That one timeout could come in handy to try to get your own offense in position to get a field goal.
Mention the center, the holder, and the kicker together as a combination one more time.
Chris Harvey is the snapper, and Matt Carter is the holder.
Very, very important.
28-yard kick inside the hash. 23 yards for Petty. And here we go. Snap good, hold good. The kick is good. Snap from Chris Harvey. Perfect. Your hold from Matt Carter. Laces spun. The kick from John Petty. 5 kicks in a game for a field goal. Breaks a Miami record. Brock Berlin had to throw it 54 times tonight. He threw one up that Kellen Winslow went up and made an unbelievable play on it.
Let's not forget, we've been critical of Brock Berlin, but also he made some big plays there. And here's a young man who had an unbelievable evening, leading his team, making them believe after the way they played on offense the last 2 weeks.
And Rich Rodriguez, who dug his team off the ground after they were embarrassed at Maryland, 34-7, beaten by a quarterback who transferred from West Virginia, and Scott McBride, yet able to survive. 11 seconds left. Line drive, kickoff, one bounce to K.J. Harris. Across the 20 to the 30 to the 37-yard line with 5 seconds left. Now, I'm sorry, 3 seconds as the clock ran just a couple seconds farther.
If it was going the other way, I was here when Doug Flutie threw it for a touchdown. But it was going to the left, not to the right, and it wasn't 70 yards.
It wasn't too far away from where it is here, Lee.
I'm telling you. I was here, sitting right there. He threw the ball from the midfield into the left end zone.
I bet it went in the air about 70 yards.
Oh, it was an unbelievable pass. Sitting right here watching it.
Sports Center coming up as soon as we're done here. Quite a night in Miami.
Rodriguez.
Great effort.
Outstanding effort performance by him and by his team.
One play, one try. They need to buy time for the length of throw. That's halfway down the field. It's up in the air, and it's intercepted by Sean Taylor, who goes down and shows the relief for the Canes as Miami has survived barely. Miami moves to 5-0. Winslow with a visit for Wilton. Otis Wilton's son, the former great NFL linebacker. I'm sure people were calling that cell phone when they saw his son make what would have been one of the more memorable touchdowns in Mountaineer history. Would have been up there with the heroics of Amos Zaraway and Major Harris of recent Mountaineer days, and Hostetler of generations before. But number 2 Miami escapes and survives 22-20. Our Wrangler player of the game, John Petty, 5 field goals tonight, including the game winner, his Miami record 5th. Keeps the Canes undefeated. We'll see you in a couple of minutes to wrap this baby up on SportsCenter. For Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch, and all the women and men on our ESPN College Football Thursday team, this is Mike Tirico. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more college football info, log on to ESPN.com. Keyword college football. Good night from the Orange Bowl, where the Canes survive. We'll see you in a minute on the other side of SportsCenter.